I've been playing Simpsons movie right here on the side of my iPhone, and I've been watching, sticking my head in little by little. And I'm like, man, I already seen. I remember this. I've seen it way too many times. I've seen the movie way too many. But yeah, I'll tell you that. I guess when we get to it, I'll tell you what I think about the movie and how it transitioned for me. But if you're ready to go, I'm ready to go.
Let's do it, buddy.
All right. Dun, 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 I've got some music playing, and then this is when we say, hey. Welcome to Side by Side. I'm CJ Robles.
And I'm Ben Garrett.
And
nice to see everybody.
Hello. In tonight's episode, we are doing South Park movie v. The Simpsons movie. Hard
yes,
V.
We are.
Hard V.
Ooh, Hard V. V for Vendetta.
How did we get here? We got here because we did Trey Parker, Matt Stone last episode.
Yep.
And it kind of segued us into this, and I must say these movies are very similar,
dude. So one thing that I think is just kind of crazy, and I didn't even realize until I was just kind of looking them up a little bit, and they were both coming out a year before an election. And they were both pretty government heavy. I mean, both of them really were.
Yeah, the government's kind of them.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of interesting because you were going to have, and what's even more interesting is it was going to be a change of like the president who, like, there wasn't going to be a second kind of term.
Yeah, I got you.
Like,
it was going the other way.
Yeah, like you had South Park right before Bush came in, and then you had the Simpsons movie right as Bush was leaving. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. Of course, you saw Bill Clinton in the South Park movie, which is pretty funny. And in the Simpsons movie, you have President Schwarzenegger, which you kind of have like a celebrity president, kind of like what we have right now,
God, yeah, the celebrity president.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, sorry, I just kind of jumped right in there with that, man.
No,
conspiracy theories,
dude. This is actually, because this is a different side by side, because we're really usually this is actually a kind of a verse. We're comparing two kind of franchises. So usually we're comparing someone's artwork to another point of their life and artwork. This time we're actually going with some franchises here. I'm still setting up the just do the Wikipedias real quick, but hey man, I think this round these are no hold bars here, man. We just go straight to
dude.
Because I think I have a real, I don't even know it's a bad tendency. It's just my tendency now to watch movies is I got to be in like kind of like in the mood, and sometimes it happens where I'm way too long, and I got to meet up with you, and I mean that's usually what will happen. I'll kind of push it, but I've been more mindful. I'm like, all right, let's work on this a little bit better. But I couldn't find any free time, and plus I like I said, I did the movie this weekend, so I lost 2 days. But I mean, again, it's all right. I liked it because when I said but I just want to talk. I want to bring up this movie because I saw it this morning, so I'm all over the place. I went to bed with I've been going to sleep, putting my son to sleep, and then I've been falling asleep with him. So I've been waking up like 2 a.m, like full of energy. I did it like last night. I was like, damn it. So instead of like watching one of these movies, I put on. I was going through the Roku.
Was it Michael? Is that what you're gonna say? Yeah. I saw you post, dude.
Dude, I was about to watch
Battle.
I was about to watch the Time Cop with Sean Clever and them. And then I was like, man, it's 2 a.m. This thing will keep me up and keep me adrenaline. So let me see what else. So on my cell phone, I just kind of scrolled, and as soon as I scrolled, it went all the way to that movie, and I was like, dude, I have that on VHS, but I don't want to open it, and I really want to watch it, and it's here. I'm gonna play it. I saw Michael. Man, that's a good movie. It's nice. What I say, Travolta does a great. It's basically just Travolta being like this binge hardcore, we can talk about that movie, but it's just a nice, like, lovely movie. But I didn't realize it's a romantic movie.
What was it? Andy McDowell? Is that who it was?
Yes, and then William Hurt, and then Bob Hoskins, which is also, this is why I also wanted to watch it.
Oh, I forgot he's the boss, right?
Yeah, dude. I like watching interviews from like other actors, and I picked him. I just picked him, and I saw 2 interviews with him, and he has that Cockney accent. Yeah, Bob Hoskins, he talks. He comes over, really he comes real off really like that. I say, I think it's his British accent. But I'm like, man, because usually he has the American, Mario Brothers, Mario, Luigi Mario. He has those.
I have a funny, dude. Shmi. Oh yes, man. And then Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That was another. You use that as a great accent in that. But dude, it's so funny that you mentioned Super Mario Brothers because I have this guy at work, man. I can't say any movie references around him at all because he doesn't watch any movies. And I mentioned something about Super Mario Brothers. Like I've seen that. I was like, because and like it's mostly just like movies from like the '90s until like mid 2000s that he has no reference to. And I was like, oh, so that's what ruined it for you? It was Super Mario Brothers, huh? Because I said something like I can't remember how the conversation went. He was like a Koop. What is it? A Koopa Kai or something like that?
Oh,
what's in the game?
Yeah, it's called the Koopa.
Koopas. Yeah. And he said I look like something like that, and I was like, well, you look like the Koopa from the movie. He was like, oof. And I was just like, yeah. And so, but yeah, dude, Bob Hoskins. Oh, but Michael, man, I love that movie. Like any, what was it? Whenever she's like pie, me oh my. Like I always, if anything rhymes with pie, like I'll start singing that. We have chicken thighs, and I'll be like thigh, me oh my.
Oh, that's that. Dude. Also, I went to watch a movie by myself. It came in '96, and it's kind of funny. We're talking about these two movies. I'm getting to there. But Michael with John Travolta just doing the binging and all that, like the sugar, the cigarettes, the beer, the womanizing, the way the women like. I like that scene. He's dancing.
He smells like sugar cookies.
It's like he smells like flowers. And Joey Laurie Adams, man, she looks so beautiful in there. Like I was like, she plays the waitress.
Dude, I totally forget that.
Like, dude. And then I mean, we're giving out shout outs. What's the Robert? He passed away. I'm sorry. What's he plays Hubie. I forget his name. I don't want to mess up his last name. Like I keep messing everybody else's up there. But
come on, Butcher.
The Butcher's not as good. I've had one glass of wine, so I think my tongue will flow a little bit easier this time. I think people notice and they'll be like, "Hey, give that guy his dose of wine, and he'll talk better." But let's see real quick. His name is let's see. I love this actor. He's one of my favorite actors. Robert Pastorelli.
Is that the guy who's hanging out with John Hurt? Like he's always
yeah. That's his friend. Yeah, with Sparky. Yeah, that's him. Man, the movie. The thing about Michael was I just really want to watch it. It's a heartwarming film. I didn't think about. I mean, like I didn't think it was a romance until. And then keep in mind, I haven't seen this for a long time. I think I only seen this at the theater, and it just really stuck with me. And I also want to say that it was one of those movies that when I bring up my Aunt Sylvia, it's one of those movies I think she would have loved to watch with me. And that's why I was like, it was just, and just this whole movie is a great movie. And I think watching this movie set me up for these two movies. And I don't even know where to begin because I accidentally, I don't know if you know your computer, you think it's something on your phone, it pops it up like, hey, buy this. When I bought SouthPark, the Blu-ray, and it gave me the next day, which I thought was awesome. When I bought SouthPark, bigger, longer.
Thanks, Amazon.
Yeah. It came by the next day, and then when I got on YouTube, it said, "Here's the Blu-ray DVD commentary for South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut." And it played on my auto, so I didn't even click it. So I was like, oh, so I heard the whole 1 hour behind the scenes of it, and that's just like Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Dude, they do it's not only is it for the Blu-ray, it's 10 years later, so they're talking about it from like 10 years ago, and they don't even want to talk about the movie. Like they do a DVD commentary and they talk about everything but the movie. That's new to them. So they bring in their cast and crew that was in there, and they even bring in their creative director, which is now a producer, and they even now it's 20 years, but they bring in the guy they bring in the creator the Butters character. The guy who does the voice, so he's in it for a little bit, but they even talk about how Butters isn't in the movie, but he's in there, but he's not as Butters. Like he's just a character, but he's not Butters until later. And I think the movie came out after season 1, in between season 2, I think. Let's see, cause
it had to been because season 1 was 98, if I'm not mistaken.
And this is so they said this because they had a sophomore slump is what they called it for South Park season 2. And then after that, because what happened was they were trying to do other projects, and that's why they did basketball. Like, oh, we'll do basketball. Like, there's you guys are coming off this huge success, so they what they were
So
doing
they
was
were. It was 97 when season 1 came out. 97 to the beginning of 98 season. So it came out after season 2. So it was in between season 2 and season 3.
yeah.
And I think, yeah, because let's see here.
Well, because they were saying that in season 2 that they kind of just they told them like because they're trying to do so much stuff and people said just hire like storyboard guys and everything. So they did that for season 2, and then they would like people to pay to do the parts, and then they realized we don't like that. Then they got hands on, and one thing they did bring up in the animation. They didn't like how choppy it was. I thought it was good animation, especially I think it aged pretty well. I mean, I think if I compare it to now, yeah, I'm going to see a difference. But for where it first started 20 years ago till now, I think the movie's aged pretty well. Now, South Park, like we've been, just it's kind of a segue. I mean, it's kind of a continuation from last week with, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. And one thing they brought up in that commentary, or maybe it was another thing I heard, that they're not trying to offend people. They don't deliberately go for a joke, and I think that's why they don't like there's reason they don't tons of reasons they don't like Family Guy, but I think that's one of them too, because they're just like, hey, what if this? What is it? All right, just go, let's go. And then they say they find out later that they offended somebody. They're like, oh, okay. And one thing I got from this movie was when I saw it, I want to say, because I text my buddy that I usually watch movies with back in the day. I go, did we watch this one together? He goes, no, I don't think so. I go, who did I watch this movie with? I remember watching, because I remember not only did we watch this movie, we had to sneak in to watch this movie. And they even said that on the commentary. They said that with with this one, that they had to make it rated R because it's a movie, and they had to pull out all the stops. So I was like, wow, that's kind of like they did that. And Trey Parker says right in the beginning, he goes, and people don't even realize it's a goddamn musical. And I forget.
Yeah, dude, that's what I love about it. Honestly, like that's one of my favorite things about the South Park music or South Park movie dude, and honestly, like that's one thing that I have written about the Simpsons movie too. Is like the score of the Simpsons movie is what I feel like you see that in a lot of episodes too. Like the score of the Simpsons is what makes that show so damn good. It's just like it's the music. I mean, I feel like that's what holds together any good, not just animated show, any good show in general. Like if it has good music, it's going to draw you in because it's just that like it's almost that subliminal thing, like, oh, it brings up memories or it does something to you. And dude, with South Park, man, Kyle's mom's a bitch. I mean, classic. I love Uncle Fucker.
Uncle Fucker, dude. Like and then he Trey Parker talks about like he wrote all those songs, and then he just like basically gave it to a musician and said, hey, dude. And then I think it was Randy Newman Randy Newman was the voice, I think, for South Park, right? Was it? I don't know. One of the voices he said, oh no, I forgot who it was. He did one of the voices, and he met the guy that they were making fun of, and he said he did the impression in front of him, and he goes, I don't sound like that. And he goes, and then Trey Parker's like, okay, cock. Wait,
was it Brian Dennehy?
He makes it. I'm Brian Dennehy. What are you doing here? I don't know. Just the Brian Dennehy, like the Brian Dennehy cameo.
Get the fuck out of here.
And so I'm watching this movie now, thinking, all right, I'm pretending that I don't know the characters. Yeah. I'm pretending that I don't know them. Let's see, because I didn't think about that. This is like these kids cuss a little bit, but isn't it the whole premise of this movie is it's this movie that makes them cuss, and that's why they got to where they go and the parents get all pissed off. I want to say that I am an adult, and I've I do my things as adults, but there was a point where I was a child that I had to grow into this adulthood. There's a change. I don't make childhood decisions anymore. I make adult decisions. That being said, why are they talking about things in 1999 that they're still talking about things now? When are we gonna grow?
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. Like it's kind of funny that we made this transition because we watched those two movies last week. We watched Orgasmo and Basketball, and it was you saw Orgasmo be rated NC-17, which they only did that because they didn't feel like it was appropriate. And then you see Basketball where they're making a Hollywood movie, and it's like, oh, you're a sellout. Like that was one point, was it Trey Parker says to Matt Stone, he's like, oh, you're in a Hollywood movie now? Sellout.
Sell out,
You
yeah.
know? And so you see that progression with them. And then with this movie, man, I mean, that's all they do is they make commentary on what's going on in the world. And like you said, it's still relevant today. I mean,
Commentary.
especially, and it was almost like they called it before it was really a big thing, because you have YouTube, you have Facebook. I mean, you have kids that are, they have cell phones put in their hands before they can even comprehend what they can do with this technology. And I mean, and now you have this movie where literally the kids they're just like, oh, you're going to see a movie, here's money. Like, not even questioning what they're going to go see, not even questioning what's going on or in the movie or anything like that. And then the parents get pissed off because they weren't paying attention to their kids, And dude, it's exactly what you said. I mean, that conversation has been going on for years and years and years. And why aren't these people accountable? No. And then the parents, man, just like, they don't accept responsibility. Not all parents. That's a big generalization, but
I'll tell you that. No, I will back you up on that, because this is what I have to say. And people hearing this, if you want to hear this, thank you. You've been on our show long enough, you'll know. I always say it's not the child's, it's never the children's issue. It's the parents' fault. It's always the parents' fault. Just like we want to talk about our animals and our dogs. There's no such thing as a bad dog. There's a bad owner. So if you take that equation, you take away the owner, put a parent, and you put the dog, a child. The children do, and I was a child and I still remember my childhood. What I'm saying is, you do what's around you. You see what the parents around you are doing, and or also I think, man, this was pretty deep. When April told me, she goes, yeah, like, parents don't realize you're your kid's first teacher, so quit yelling at teachers. It's like, it's weird. So the times have changed a little bit in that aspect, because I felt like even the Mr. Garrison character, like, he was taking a lot of shit. Like, something happens and outside, then he has to come back and deal with it. Like, it's kind of like, because it's kind of like, it's like, what the fuck, like, what's the point? Like it's just, you're trying to snip it. And I love the way they now that I have my adulthood and my adult brain, and I saw everything kind of line up. I was like, oh, because when I first saw the movie, I didn't understand a lot of it. I was in high school. I was a freshman in high school, but I didn't get the context, a lot of it. I was like, let me see. Wait, this movie was 99, right? It came out in August 99?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking it up. It was June. But yeah, I mean, it's 99.
So 99. We did. I remember we were sneaking into this movie, though. I remember they wouldn't sell me the tickets. So I said, all right, I'll take that one, that family movie right there. The guy looked at me like, yeah. Well, I mean, it starts 15 minutes before, so I'll be in this theater. And they went looking for me, and he found me right there. And then as soon as he turned around, I bucked it. I went to the other one. I brought my buddy, yeah, because we were sitting. I mean, it was so obvious. I don't know why he didn't. We're the first ones right here to the left. As soon as you walk in, I'm right there. So that means that when you come back, you don't see me there. Where am I going to be? And they never, it's just so serious. I mean, my move was just like, that was my first move. And I said, I'm sticking with it.
Dude, it was just like whenever they went in, I mean, because they had to have known it was going to happen, that kids were going to sneak into this movie, because that's what happened in the movie to begin with. I mean,
this guy.
Yeah.
Do you want your vodka? 6 tickets to Asses of Fire. And he goes, sir, are you sure? They might be a little too long. Hey, man, this guy says you guys may be too long. Do you want these $10? Do you want to buy us our tickets to get $10 so you can go get your vodka and you can get blacked out? 6 tickets, please. It's just like, what I mean, that technique, that move still works to this day. Like, that's I don't understand why that move's been working since the 70s, 60s, or not even. They were able to buy beer at like 13 and shit. Anyways, but like, in the 80s, 90s, that was like I know my dad has stories where he would buy beer from uncle, and they both were minors. Like, it's like, but I think for a lot of the PC culture, they really cracked the code. I think this movie too, they talk about it, that it wasn't the distributing when they came out, they fucked them over on this one too. It's like, god damn, man, like, you really have to, like, you really want to helicopter your kids so much, you want to cripple them from everything. I mean, granted, I'm finding out now, when my friends were growing up, their parents said, that's rated R, you can't watch it. I didn't have that, so
no, same.
I was like, all right, whatever. So I'm finding out some more of my friends are like, you think like this, or this way, or sometimes I'll put like some really, like Michael. I put Michael. People like love Michael, and it's like this. When I put something horror, some people they don't. Like, I don't watch horror movies. So I'm like, man, I think the horror movies are like psychological, like thrillers. Like, dude, like the movie Copycat. Where like that movie, freaking, my aunt was the one that was like, don't ever park next to vans because they could easily open and drag you. And then we saw a copycat, and then she goes, "I told you." And then we're driving, and we parked next to a van. We're like, "Nah, we're not." A horror movie. I mean,
Yeah.
the risk is really high when you. I mean, it was really low when you just avoid it. Like, I'll just go away. Nah, there's no point for me. I'll just go home. But I mean, stuff like horror movies to me they're all different. Like all like comedies, and even I was calling. I left the review for Michael was it's more of a rom com than a dramedy. It's
Yeah.
more it's more heartwarming, and I didn't even think it was a love movie until you start looking at the characters interact and you get the dialogue and the backstory. I mean, Huey's basically just for Huey and Sparky, the dog and the owner, they're just there for the ride. It's basically about meeting people at the time. This movie, South Park, is basically all the shit that they put in this. They they don't care. They just threw it at them. I mean, I want to know a timer of like how many times do they use the word fuck, like or cuss. Like they have like it's almost like every scene they're like it's a cuss word. I this is why this was a little hard for me too. Because
Give me a second. Right here. Sorry, I don't mean to stop
Do
you,
it,
but
do it.
in 2001, it held the Guinness World Record. The film was said to have the most profanity used in an animated film. The book cited a total of 399 swear words, including 146 uses of the word fuck, along with 199 offensive gestures and 221 acts of violence. And
221
it's
acts of violence.
221 of acts of violence. And, I think it's even Sheila who says, she's like, all this violence is okay, but you can't say naughty words,
Exactly. I have that right here. Exactly. She goes, yeah, the violence what she say, yeah, but the naughty words we can't stand. And she kills Terrence and Phillips. Like she goes that far, and it's like we're seeing
Uh-huh.
that right now. We're seeing that in real life, and it's not really. I'm really like I don't think we predict things. I think people just see this and like I'm gonna do that. Like I'm gonna be the villain in that movie, but I'm gonna come up on top, and then they lose. And I'm like, well, or sometimes like I'm gonna be the hero. I'm like, well, the hero dies in that one, and like like
Yeah. Well, and I think with these two movies, they're both, I wouldn't even say cautionary tales, but it's just more of like the reason you feel like it's kind of predicting things is because they see the cycle. They see the
yeah,
cycle of things.
yes.
And so they're able to like catch on to it before other people, you know? And
True.
one thing, this is just kind of, this is totally random, man, but at the beginning of this movie, you have an Indiana Jones kind of like entrance. You know how it starts with a Paramount,
Yes.
uh, and then it fades into the mountain and everything. I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought that was really cool.
Well, they have a lot of little
Um,
things like that in there where they're like
yeah,
poking or
dude.
mocking things.
Yeah, and like was it even Cartman with his electricity? Like he's was it Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
and
yo, because
I think
that's when they start showing that 3D because they didn't really do that in movie or in animation, and they start showing you look what they can do. I actually, and then that's just hilarious that the one thing that got them in trouble was the one thing that gets them out of trouble is that's
exactly.
and I guess they're saying that beginning like even when you begin you'll end up where you started, kind of thing. And
Mhm.
the Saddam Hussein character is insane, and
Dude, it's kind of on the nose, dude. Like, I mean, because like I said, literally 2 years later, I mean, you have 9/11 happening, and
yeah,
then we go to war with them, and then we're not, like I said, not saying. I mean, we'd already had a Gulf War before that, so Saddam Hussein is an easy target, man. Because well, that's no pun intended. Because uh, we'd already been in contact with him as far as wars and everything go. But still, I mean, I wouldn't even call that a prediction, but just to hit that so hard on the nose, like,
I, I I think though even the way they brought it up in the DVD, they said it was them and because there's a third writer on the movie, and I think that's the girl that they give her writing credit because they're hanging out at some place and they're someone's house and they said, why don't we just have Satan and so Saddam was saying like fuck each other, and then that was it. That's what they said the story was, and that's all they went with. And I mean, man, I don't know where to begin with because people are going to be like, "You're a parent. You need to like watch what you see." And I'm like, I'm not gonna. I wasn't blinded. I'm not gonna blind my kid.
Yeah.
Let's see that this movie says when Stan Marsh and his friends go see an R-rated movie, they start cursing, and their parents think that Canada is to blame. And that's just that's the like that's just the way it is for parents. They don't want to take responsibility. This is real simple. There's a when Ice-T came out on, was it I think Arsenio Hall, and they were he did the NWA and the Cop Killer song, and he said, I'm not telling people to go kill cops. I'm not even telling people to do anything. He said, what about this person that when he killed it, he heard your song and he killed some cops, and he goes, nah, man, that guy was gonna do that either way. It wasn't like he heard the music and it changed him. He goes, no, all I did was give that guy background music. Let's just give him background music, and he's on it. That's true. Like
Yeah.
I mean that's one thing I try to tell my son. Like I'm want to understand. He wanted to understand that your actions will always speak louder than your words. And I think when I was growing up, I was always taught it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. I'll go with that because I know I can say things, but I could say some pretty messed up things and say them really nice. But I think it's gonna crack you after. And I think years of that, like
I think
passive
that's why I
aggressive.
was such a good manager for a while, man.
What's that?
Just because I was able to say really, really fucked up things and say it in such a nice voice that people didn't think I was serious, or they didn't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just like some things that I
There
would
was
I would say Domino's. It's just like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Like,
I mean, to context, like I'm 36, and I was still working in a restaurant when I was 35, and I started feeling the generation shift when the younger people started coming in and flipping out, and I was like, dude, you guys have no work ethic. You guys, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, what? I can actually, am I the old man now? But then they would flip out and be like, you can't talk to me like that. Blah, blah. So I was like, okay, well, you don't like for me to show you emotion, so I'm just gonna be really calm and really nice and just say really things about the way you do things really bad around here and see what happens. And they couldn't take it, and then they go get the manager or the owner and be like, "Why are you? What are you telling?" I'm like, "I'm just telling them that they left all the coffee stain out. They left that," and then they're like, "But the way he said it, how'd you say it like this? You left the coffee stain out. You left all like I'm just pointing out your flaws, and you don't like that." So it turns into being like, "Yo, he's the mean one." I'm like, God, this mob mentality shit is crazy. It's
no,
a it's not healthy. And I mean, I think if we're going to talk about wokeness or being woke, I really don't know what the hell that means. I think it means being aware of certain things, and but you can't go back in the past, and you can't really undo things. Like if you see something, it's not gonna you can't like unsee it, or I don't know, some people can. I try not
not
to.
not like in this movie
Yeah.
where everything gets undone at the end, and everything is back to normal.
I didn't even realize that when the first time I saw that end that Saddam Hussein on Earth, he's only on it for like a minute or two. He gets killed right away by Cartman, and it's like I remember that scene being real long because I was wondering, I was like, this movie's almost about to be over, and when doesn't he take over? I had paused it and it said like there's 11 minutes left. I was like, what? There's only not 11 minutes left. I was like, he needs to, but it's just that's what I remember. But what it was is because it was just I don't even remember the musical part, man. I don't remember that as a kid. I don't remember that beating me up. I don't remember even when I've seen this movie outside. I just remember them singing, but I just remember it's kind of like the way I was describing South Park. What's up?
Oh, nothing. I just like they're literally singing the entire time.
They are,
There's
dude.
there's there's moments where they aren't, but yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
but they're not. But it's like to me, I was like, this is not a musical, but because it's animation, I think that's what didn't click in my head. And then when they said that, and then I watched that, and I'm like, this is a goddamn musical. Like the whole thing. How did I not get that? Because I think it's because I was just at the time enamored by the animation. What's up?
Also, one funny fact: Isaac Hayes probably the only musical person. I mean, honestly, they're all pretty musical because I'm pretty sure it's Trey Parker who voices Satan.
Yeah,
I could be wrong,
you can kind of
but
tell on some of the voices.
yeah, well, yeah, dude. But like, whenever he's singing, like if that's him singing, he has a pretty damn good voice. Like if he's singing there at the end where he's like, "I wanna be up there,"
Oh
and
no,
doing all
dude.
that, like it's sound like it doesn't sound bad at all. Let's see here.
To me, it just seems like Trey Parker and Matt Stone. They're
Yeah,
literally,
he's Satan. Yeah,
yeah, they're literally just like they're not even trying. I think they're just
no.
seeing what people, and they're just like, okay, I'll just like you don't have to try that hard to offend people these days. But back then,
Oh, But what I was saying, like Isaac Hayes, like actually has a musical background. He doesn't sing hardly one bit in this song in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
in this movie.
He doesn't even do the chocolate balls, you know.
Yeah,
He doesn't even
because
do that.
normally he's singing in all the episodes. You know, he's like, "Oh, you know, if I want to get down with these ladies, blah blah blah." Blah. And I don't even think he has that because normally he breaks out in the song in the
Oh, that's true.
episodes, and
What,
they only ask him about the clitoris. You know, he doesn't even start singing about that. He's just like,
dude? And that even messed me up because when I saw it, I was like, I didn't know what clitoris. I heard clit, but I didn't know what that.
"Same, dude."
I was like, I guess that's what that is. I didn't know it was like a metaphor. I didn't know they're like joking around. I was like, what is that thing? I thought it was like a dinosaur or something. One thing I also noticed was, yeah, and I'm dumb. One thing I did notice was Randy Marsh is not in this movie as much as, I mean, he's in it, but he's not in it as much as you would think he is, because now like he's evolved. He's like every
Mhm.
episode now, and it's like, wow, they've come a long way from Randy like being like just like a I guess a,
Geologist.
yeah, geologist. Now he's like really, he's like does all the stupid shit. They also said they had Eric Idle in it. And I was like, that's awesome. I forgot he's in it. You know, Dave Foley, the Baldwin.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, he's Dr. Vosnocker, and then the Baldwin brothers. What's so bad about being a Baldwin? Nothing. George Clooney does the doctor voice. Oh, dude, I didn't know about.
It never gets easier.
So we have George Clooney, another repeat offender from Dust Till Dawn. He's back again.
Back
So we got another
again.
repeat. Well, look at this. I brought up. I did not know this. Oh no, never mind. Mini Drivers, Brooke Shields. That's funny. Apparently, Brooke Shields gave Matt Stone and Trey Parker a stare down out of like a cocktail meeting or something, a party or something, and that's it. And they go, "Has anybody really ever got mad?" You go, "Well, J Lo one time just came up to me and pushed me, and that was it," because he wore the J Lo dress.
OBN.
Chocolate flavored kisses for my band. I think I want to say. Or like it was Farva. I'll do her.
Yeah, dude. No, I had a friend back in high school, dude. Just to piss me off, he'd be like, "OBN, OBN, give me the kisses." Like it would. I don't know why, but it would irritate the hell out of me. But yeah, it was funny after a while.
I could see how the way my persona was when I was younger. How I'm only one of a few kids that was quoting South Park, and a lot of people weren't really. So I was like, all right, stay quiet. But then some of the older guys that graduated high school, they started doing it. Um, Man, this movie, like the way they just pick at everything, Mothers Against Canada, like right away they do. It's like they do all the same stuff that goes on now. Like they did it before. Like they're just, it basically looks like a blueprint for them. Or like you said, it's cycles. So they're just seeing what comes around, and that's what I feel like everything does. The Brian Danny thing. Oh, another repeat offender from Scream, Skeet Ulrich. He was in
Yes,
it.
yeah. I put that down too, dude. I was like, why the fuck is he in there? Like, what do they have against Skeet Ulrich? Yeah. And then I was like, well, maybe they just think he's cute. Maybe that's what it is.
I was supposed to meet him
bastard.
last year. I was supposed to meet him last year at Texas Fright Mirror, but it got 2020. But I mean this year. But next year he's supposed to be at there again, so maybe I'll run into him.
And honestly, dude, like me and Kenyon watched Riverdale. We watched up until like season 4, and he is. I mean, besides growing a beard, he really hasn't aged that much. I mean, he is aged gracefully. And I mean, not to be mean, but better than Matthew Lillard, if we're going to be real. But Matthew Lillard is still. I love him. He's cool. He's cool in my book.
But are you gonna? Okay. We're gonna have a one-on-one right here. We're gonna do this.
Okay.
It's not Brendan Fraser. We're not gonna go too far.
Yeah.
We're gonna take Matthew Lillard movies, and you're gonna tell me some Skeet Ulrich movies, and you're gonna tell me which ones are better.
Okay.
Because you're gonna stop like at 3 with Skeet Ulrich. I go like 6 or 7 movies with Matthew Lillard. Other than like Skeet Ulrich doesn't really make them. Other than Riverdale and Scream, what else? What else has Skeet Ulrich is that? Was it the ice cream maker, or what is it called? The ice cream man? What was it called? What did he do? He did the ice cream something.
Let's see here. Ice Cream Social, maybe. Let's see.
No. But who do you think had a better career?
Okay. Oh, dude, Matthew Lillard, dude, 13 Ghosts. Are you kidding me? That's one of his best fucking movies, in my opinion. Now, there's a few that I haven't seen, like what is it, like SLC Punk? I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you gotta watch
Or
it.
Hackers. I haven't seen Hackers.
Dude, hold on,
I know.
hold on.
I know. Let's see here.
I watch
Oh, he was.
Hackers.
Oh,
I'll tell you real
okay.
quick about let me tell you about Hackers real quick. I watch Hackers
All
at
right.
least. It's just that sci-fi movie, but I watch it at least 3 times a month. It just it's a great movie because it's a 90s movie. It's like it's stuck in that frame, that time frame where technology and computers, were the beginning. But like in life, like in real life, computers they upgrade and they change. Hackers doesn't. It's exactly what it's because when you really find out what hacking is, it's not that hard. Like it's not that fancy, It's like it's just a guy on a computer. But that movie made it seem really cool. Let's see, the Chill Factor. That's the one I was talking about. Chill Factor with I think
Chill.
Cuba Gooding Jr. is his counterpartner. Yeah, it was
Yeah. All right. He was in
1999.
that. Wow. He was in As Good as It Gets. I
Yeah,
know that.
I think it's like a supporting role.
He must have been like Greg Kinnear's boyfriend or something. Or I don't even know. That's just a shot in the dark. He was in The Craft.
Yeah, that's a good
So,
one. That's a good one. Oh,
um,
they remade The Craft. I don't know. I've been hearing bad
dude,
reviews.
he was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it's just Thug.
That's the Weekend at Bernie's extra.
Extra. He did. Hey, I
Wow.
take the extra parts. Hey, Sam Rockwell, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, I forgot about. I was reading something about that. How he was in that. The Newton boys.
Yeah, so he had a little peak, but then
He was in some movies. It just wasn't as. I mean, dude, Matthew Lillard was in Scooby Doo. I mean, everybody's gonna remember that dude. What
no, but
else
also
was
he's
Matthew Lillard
dude.
in?
Right on top of my head, what is he? So he's in the also he's a Hackers. He's also in he did Scream. He did where we go with his career. Oh, he did up a boat without a paddle. He's the main character in that.
Oh yeah, Without a Paddle. Oh,
Without a
dude, I love
paddle.
that movie.
That movie's
It's
funny.
like, you
Also
ever eaten a? It's like, were you ever a Boy Scout? Nobody ate a brownie
Brownie
once.
ones. Like just talking shit to
Uh,
the sheriff.
yeah, dude, that's how dude. Without a Paddle is how I found out I really like that song Black Betty, but only if it's the
Oh,
spider bait version because that's who sings it in that. Because like the original, I was like, this is good, but I like that other one better.
dude, but
Uh,
the the hot chick from 13 Ghosts, the dead princess, she had
I thought you were talking about Shannon Elizabeth.
oh her too.
You
Nah, honestly, dude, I think they
do. I
typed.
guess you don't see Shannon Elizabeth's boobs in that one.
I don't
You
know.
probably just thought she was a hot chick because you got to see her boobs, CJ. And you
Hey
get no,
man,
no,
she
no, no, no. We were talking about South Park. You guys say boobs, right?
beeps.
Bewbs.
Hey,
Come
come
on,
on,
man.
guys. Come on, man.
Get the
Yeah,
goddamn door, man.
yeah, dude, I like Cartman, but I thought maybe you'd have to know more about South Park to watch that movie, and
Oh,
you don't. And you know what? I'll even look. I'm looking at Matthew Little's career. He's done more work, but man, they're about the same.
dude. Okay, so they have both come into like the TV spotlight because he was in a show called Good Girls,
Girl, this is good. I saw
and
that.
it's really good,
That's good,
man.
dude. That's
Like
good.
I like Rio, man. He really gives it to Elizabeth, and
Oh,
Matthew
man,
Lillard's over there just like
come
screwing
on,
around with what's her
man.
name.
Because I grew up kind of not liking those guys because this around my area thing. That's a sensitive topic for me. What's up, man? I was like, whatever. We're friends. We're
Hello,
gonna be cool.
Elizabeth.
So
You know,
I forgot about this. I don't know if I brought it up last time, but he's Matthew Lillard is also in Scream 2.
it's like archive or what?
He kind of. So he was dating. I didn't know this. He was dating Neve Campbell when they were filming Scream 2. So when they filmed Scream 2,
Oh, I think I did. I think I did see that. He was like in the background or
he's a
something
party. It
like
says
that.
guy at party. He's just in it, but there's a split. There's a split second where you get to see him. That's him. It's like Stu, but they said like it's called the Ghost of
Did
Stu.
we
So
did we see him die though?
yeah, no, yeah, that's what they say. They don't know if he died. They don't know.
Hmm.
We don't know if Stu actually
We saw
died.
Skeet Ulrich die. I mean, he got shot in the head.
But did he die?
But Stu,
Did he die? But did he bleed?
but did he die?
But
Yeah,
did he?
that would be cool. Like if they did have Scream 5 and they brought Matthew Lillard
That
back.
would be
Oh my
insane. You're right.
god.
Like but see, that would be believable. Like he really didn't die. Like
Yeah.
he really, man. I'm so
And
sorry.
he just like went. Yeah.
No. Sorry.
Did you ever see Scream? Oh, sorry.
What did you
Continue.
say? What were you gonna say? Scream.
Oh, Did you see Scream 4?
Yeah, I think
What did you think about that one?
the deaths were a little graphic for me. I'm not saying that I didn't like them. I was just like, oh, I wasn't expecting them to be in a Scream movie that graphic. Um, I gotta rewatch it because
Same,
when I
because
pre right,
I remember like who the killers were, sort of,
oh,
but like,
I didn't catch it until like right before. Then I was like, I can see it.
yeah, no, I mean, like so I think with that one, I just went in. I was probably trying to figure it out, but I probably went in and was like, okay, I'm gonna let it ride because like with some of those movies, you have to
Exactly.
lose yourself, and that's one of those that you just kind of have to,
I
like you said, let it finish, and then you'd be like, oh, okay,
I
like
I think with what you just said, man, you have what you said. Just let it ride because like the movies that once you get to 4 or 5, like you have to give into the universe, the world of the movie by that point. You gotta say fuck everything else. And they went because even like with the Jason movies, like the Friday 13th, they rag on like 7, 6, 7, 8, right, and the 9 when he's a zombie, like even 10. They rag on those, and I'm like, well, if you stuck with it, if you just watch those movies as is, and yeah, face value, they're kind of stupid. But if you kind of start with it and you go with it, you're like, oh, that's why they got here. Oh, this is how they jumped this part of the shark. But and the Scream 4, you know what, dude? I can remember Scream 3 better than I can remember Scream 4, and I don't really remember Scream 3 that much. I remember obviously Scream 1 and 2. Even though I haven't seen 2 in a while, I still remember a lot of 2. I like 2 a little bit. Man, so 1 is gonna not be touched, but man, I gotta say I like 2 real close to 1.
now was 3 was whenever it was her like half brother. Is that
Half
was 3?
brother, and then the oh no, that was in the second one. No, that was half brother. But
Second one
apparently,
was half brother.
no, the second one is the mom. It's Billy Loomis's mom,
Ah,
and then she hires Timothy Olyphant. I forgot his name. See, he threw me off. I didn't know he was a
oh yeah,
killer.
it was Timothy Olyphant. Yeah.
Yeah, it threw me off. The third one kind of goes a little bit. It's kind of weird because they finally kill Liv Shriver and
Yeah.
leave and they all and that was the name. It's kind of a weird beginning, but for the most part, the four. It's a new decade movie too. It's kind of its own. It's kind of like the sister, the young sister. It's about 7 years difference from like from the third child.
Mhm.
Scream 4 to me would be. I think I need to rewatch it, but I don't think it didn't leave an impression like the other ones did.
Yeah. No, no, no.
Yeah.
For
And,
sure.
and, and I was just gonna bring up. I love the fact that we've been bringing up other movies, doing a South Park segment because we're kind of
Mhm.
doing what Matt and Trey would do. Like this is what
Yeah.
they would do. They wouldn't talk about their like when if you ever get a chance on your DVD, look at the extras and then watch the
Okay.
movie with the commentary. Dude, they do not talk about the movie. Like they pick at it and they just start. And then there's a part where they just start like you start hearing them like fast forward in like real life where we brought someone else in, we brought someone else in, we brought someone else in, and they're not even talking about the movie by this point. And I like that we're doing this because it's kind of showing people that hey we're true to our
Mhm.
product, but to our people
To the
the
creators.
creators. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're true to we do as much as we can like them. And that's what I like saying. I'm talking to like I mean, sorry, I'm bringing that up because it's like kind of cool. Like I think this is what they would kind of want us to do
Yeah,
because
dude. Well, and yeah, dude, it's a solid movie, and it kind of speaks for itself. I mean, for the most part, and you don't have to. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it definitely has. I wouldn't even say hidden meaning, but it's very subtle on what it does. Like, it's almost making fun of itself. Like, oh, you're gonna because they had to know like they're gonna bring kids to this movie. Like, people are gonna bring kids to this movie. I can't remember which movie it was that like we went to go see it, and we were like, I can't believe you brought a little kid to see this movie.
they told you that. They told
God, no, no, it was just like I went to a movie. I think it was maybe like Sausage Party
you.
or something like that. Where they like made it really obvious not to bring kids to.
Yeah, that's it.
Somebody still brought it.
I could see that movie, Sausage Party.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was that because I'm pretty sure I went to go see that in the theaters, and if we're gonna be completely honest, that was not a movie that I really.
So
It just it was
put put it this way.
lackluster.
Exactly. It's raunchy. Put it this way: South Park is not raunchy. They're
No.
if anything at the time when this they were the break the glass. Like they're the ones that go to the next level. We got to break the glass. All right, we're gonna break it. I think with Seth Rogen and those cats, what they did with Sausage Party, I think they just were being vulgar. They're trying to be offensive. They're trying to be look at the jerking off, the all the sex. Like there's no sex in South Park. I mean, other than the actual Saddam Hussein.
Cartman's mom.
Yeah, and then doing this nice should be a deal. Oh, it's your mom, Cartman. And then the sex with Saddam Hussein. But with
Dad, Mom, you tell
what?
me if you're in a Slice movie,
Uh,
right?
yes.
John.
I mean, I'll say that with Sausage Party, it's trying. The jokes are there, but the jokes aren't. See, that's a good combination. That's a good thing because with Sausage Party, it tries to be more slapstick or like just gross, opposed to being like witty or funny. Where they just splat out tell you they splat like just tell you what they're trying to do to offend you, and you kind of fall into it, you know. See, Sausage Party 2016, and let's see, it got a. Oh, let me see what it got on the Rotten Tomatoes because this one to me I think would probably like it's probably gonna. I feel like this one will have a higher score than South Park only because I feel like there's like buddies in this.
Wait, with the
movie.
critics or the audience?
Critics, I think critics will like the Sausage
Dude,
Party.
no.
Let's see.
I pulled up Rotten Tomatoes for
I
South
told you.
Park, and I was. Is it?
No, for Sausage Party, I knew it. It's a critic. Like the critics loved it, 82%. Look, I knew it. Like even right before, I just guessed it. The critics were gonna love it.
Really?
Yeah, they gave it
What about the audience?
50%. This is just because it's a Seth Rogen movie. This is why. This is the issues right here. Look, this is
Dude, I bet you they liked it more than just because it was a Seth Rogen movie. Because I'm sure they've dogged on that motherfucker way more than they would have praised his ass. They probably liked it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I think it was just because it was almost making fun of religion. I think is why they liked it so damn much.
I
Like
get you.
you know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
you.
Like I
I
think that
get you.
possibly can be a little
Yeah,
bit
it's yeah. I
not to
get
critique the
exactly.
critics because
I get you.
that's where we're trying to not be. But
Oh no.
uh,
I'm totally. Remember, since day one, I'm going at the. I'm not like them. I am not.
yeah,
We're not. I don't know. I'm speaking for myself. That I am not like them. The critics like that score. I'd never want to be on that same score as them because remember I said I got the 50-50, one of the ones back then where I was like, yeah, I gotta agree with the critics because
yeah.
it's like a 50.
Well,
But I
dude,
mean,
the audience score for South Park. I mean, I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but I mean,
go for
it's
it,
at
dude.
88%. I mean,
Yes, and
88% on the audience score and 80% on the tomato meter. So I mean, it coincides pretty well, and it's a solid fucking movie.
was South
It's
Park?
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
No, I thought
it.
we were on such party. No. Yeah. No.
No, oh no. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it has its moments, and it's
But
funny, but just
do
not.
you do you think I think that Sausage Party is more of a stoner movie and South Park is not a stoner movie?
See, that's where I may. If Sausage Party is a stoner movie, it's trying like.
I'm just saying. Look, if the
No, I mean, I know I had to have seen that stoned, and I was still not impressed. You know,
I
like,
thought it's clever. I'm just saying I'm not putting Sausage Party down at all. I saw the movie. I paid for it. I walked out laughing my ass off. But I'll say that
same.
when I'm comparing these two movies, like, nah, man, this 82 critic score, that's too generous. Like
Yeah,
that's way too generous. Like they're this it just makes it seem like and that's why I'm not a tomato guy, a tomato meter person because there's 233 people that voted for this one, and then South Park only 95 people. You know, and to me, Sausage Party wasn't. It's not bad. I just don't
no,
if we were to compare to South Park, I would totally think the musical of South Park is way better.
dude, yeah. I mean,
Um,
100%.
I mean,
I mean, look at Freaks and Geeks. How far did Seth Rogen get with that? Sorry, that was rude, but I mean, South Park's still going.
it's the beginning. It's his beginning. It's just his beginning for sure. I think it's in 40-year-old version. He's 22 years old and he looks like he's 35 or something. So
He was
that
22, and
yeah,
goddamn.
he's really young. I think Seth Rogen is one of the
Let's
younger,
see.
and they really do. Hollywood really likes to pick its young and up and comers, and just I don't really think about that, but it's true. With a lot of the people I see that I'm like, they're a lot younger. They've had a long career because they got started really really young.
Yeah. Let's see
We're
here. Okay, Judd Apatow. Sorry. Wait. He did Freaks and Geeks. I knew that. Let's see if he had anything to do with Sausage Party. He's probably like a producer or some shit, but he definitely wasn't the director.
The Sausage
So
Party is definitely offensive, and I said Sausage Party is definitely offensive, but backs up its enthusiastic profanity with an impressively high laugh to gag ratio and a surprisingly thought provoking storyline. No, I think you're right. I think because they shit on religion, that's why people are like, yeah, science rules.
yeah,
Fuck
exactly, dude.
angels.
Like people go they'll praise something that they think is like really
Yeah, I forget about that, man. I forget I use common sense and
so,
logic.
so, so yeah, right. Well, dude, okay, so that's interesting. The Judd Apatow had it doesn't look like he had anything to do with Sausage Party,
Yeah.
which that makes sense because Judd Apatow is I think he's fucking great.
I
I
think
enjoy a lot of his work.
I do too. I think his writing. I just think. I mean, I saw This Is 40. That was a hard one to swallow. That was long too, and I was hungover.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went to watch it hungover, but outside of that, a lot of his stuff is good. Um,
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, dude. Like Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. I mean, those two made Superbad. I fucking love that movie. And that
and
was. But see, that's the thing. Like that teen movie. Like whenever you're that age, of course you're raunchy. Of course you're saying the most. You're saying a bunch of stupid shit. Like that makes sense because you're young. You don't know any better. And you're just learning, and
yeah,
that's what makes Superbad such a good movie and such a kind of like one of those like it's the American Pie of that
you're
generation. I
exactly.
mean,
That's
I
good.
because like and you have that every so often. Like you'll just have that movie that's just sticks to one particular group, man. You could just quote that shit all day. I mean, '99. That's when American Pie came out. Let's see here. I think it was like 2008, 2000 no 2007 for Superbad,
Yeah, so that's
and that's
super bad.
so same year as The Simpsons. If we want to make a smooth transition over there to
Yeah, we go
that.
back. Yeah, for everyone still hanging on to us because we're in the true South Park fashion. We're not like we don't care, but we're kind of exploring
No,
everything here. And if we feel like they let us do the free range, and if you do want to, yeah, I mean we're getting back to The Simpsons. I think I like the fact that we're bringing up these other movies that are kind of similar and coincidentally the same time frame. Because man, super bad. It is. I think you're right. It is one of those movies that is that time for it's their version of this.
but I was
Um,
17 whenever that came out, so that was like speaking to me all goddamn day. I mean, I wasn't doing as crazy shit as they were doing. Like I didn't drink till I was 18. You
Did this
know,
did this movie? You were like a junior, sophomore in high school, or
yeah, I was a junior.
junior? All
Yeah,
right. So I was already out of high school for 4 years. So I was like almost 22, around there 21. So yeah, I was still relatively like that high school college mind. It worked perfect. Like I thought it was a
yeah,
good movie. That's when I kind of got introduced to Bill Hader, and I thought he was amazing. Like just kind of
yeah.
his little
Dude, one of my favorite quotes from that is like, "You don't want girls to think you suck dick and fucking pussy." Like that is the stupidest shit you could ever fucking say.
you
But
know.
it was like it makes sense. Like you that's the mentality, of a stupid teenager. Like
Yes,
we
yes,
got we got to get laid before we go to college because that way girls think
dude.
we're cool.
Dude, I
You
would
know?
say like the people that I know, I'm like, man, that mentality is like a guy mentality all your life. Like, dude, I'm almost 40. That means I got a bang. It's like, dude, I'm almost 30. I did almost 20. I got a 20. My 21st birthday. I got. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
Um, on a side story, the guy that plays Francis, the driver, the guy that hits Jonah Hill, the actor Joe Troglio, the guy that's
Ooh, the butcher strikes again.
yeah, no, no,
I'm
this is this
sure.
this is Italian name. This is Italian. This is Italian last name.
Wait, you're talking about? I'm pretty sure he was in what Hot American Summer. I could be wrong. Is that the
Yeah, well,
same guy?
he's and also he's in Brooklyn with all
Brooklyn
the
Nine-Nine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, he's that. So that guy's story about him. My buddy was working at Home Slice, and he was doing
Mhm.
pizzas, and he said that I don't. It might have been during South by, but he said that they were closing up the shop, they were getting ready, and he was working, and that guy showed up with it, was little entourage, and he goes, "Yeah, this guy showed up," and we're like, "Hey, it's the guy from Superbad and the movies," and then he's like, "Yeah, cool." And then he just kind of just hangs out for almost 3 hours and doesn't really order anything with his friends, and he doesn't tip extra, and he just kind of so he's like, "I really hate that guy now." Like, it's just funny, right? How the reality can ruin the fantasy for you.
Yeah, dude.
He's like, yeah, yep. And now more or less with me doing this, and you know, if a friend were to call me, like I've had friends call me and be like, hey, what do you got? I'm like, nah, dude, I gotta focus on what? Like well, it was kind of cool. And you became a dick. I'm like, well, I'm focusing on shit, you know, like it's not like I'm trying to. So I can see how he could be like, man, I had a long day, or maybe he's a dick. I don't know, but that was funny because he said that we're just they're sitting there, and he was just like, he drink his beer, just wait for to go back, and we're like, all right, hurry up, man, get the fuck out of here. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I love the waiting stories, the being a waiters and whatnot. But yeah, let's segue into the Simpsons now. Well, we did see the Rotten Tomatoes score for South Park. Before we move on, let's see what the because this movie also wasn't what do you call it, not well received, but it wasn't, they didn't let it really distribute. They said that they had issues with it. It was budgeted at
Oh,
21 million and made 83.1 million, so it's pretty good.
wow. Excuse me. Before we move on to The Simpsons, I just have one question for you.
What's up, brother?
What's your favorite song out of South Park?
Oh my god, I started the Brian Boy Thomas song kind of got me a little bit, but
I
man,
love I love the version of it at the end.
oh
That
yeah,
one's pretty
the
good.
slower version, or
Where it's like like the rock version, like the what we brought a ton
yeah,
of
yeah,
dude, you were
yeah. Yeah,
fight.
yeah, you're right. I think
But
my favorite song was the one right before that one, and it's I can't remember. It's the because no, no, it was fucking Uncle Fucker. Because
yeah,
because I hadn't even heard it in so long, and as soon as I heard it, I just started singing it, and I
you
was
fucked
just
your
like,
uncle
"What the fuck is
yesterday.
that? Yeah, yesterday. I'm fucking like, no, wait, there's another song that I was singing too that I was like, oh my god, I haven't heard this one. It's what is what? I
Dude,
gotta look at the songs real
the
quick.
one, like I said, I mentioned it earlier, the one with Satan, dude, like where he's like somewhere is like there's one line in it where he was like if you
Oh
didn't
no,
have
I got it, I got it.
if you didn't have evil, you couldn't have good, so you must be good to be evil sometime.
Yeah,
Like that shit always like it was hilarious
I
to
forgot
me.
about the I'm super. Thanks for
Oh
asking.
yeah.
That I forgot because Big Al doesn't come out that much anymore. He was like a big character in the beginning.
Oh, I totally forgot they showed his dick in that
oh,
scene.
that's where we can segue to the
And
Simpsons.
yeah.
Because yeah, but I was also gonna say I forgot the no, the Uncle Fucker one I remember, no, this song I heard, and I was like right away I was like, oh my god, I can't believe well,
Yes.
Carlos bitch the
That,
biggest bitch in the whole wide world. Every single bitch in the world, bitch is the bitch. All that boys and girls. As soon as he said, I just started going off, dude. What is the bitch into the bitch and Thursday, Friday, she's the bitch, and on Friday, she's the bitch.
super king mega bitch.
Biatch. Yeah, dude. As soon as I heard that, I was like, "Oh my god!" Because I own this.
Dude.
I own the soundtrack to this, not thinking it's a musical. I was like, "Oh, there's the music from." I remember I'm an idiot, so I'm a certified idiot. I'm a certified, so I've been certified. So, but yes, we will. What's up? You got South Park on you?
Oh yeah, that was I have to say I'm sure you have friends named Kyle, but that was my favorite thing. I had a guy I worked with, man, at Domino's. His name was Kyle. Well, dude, but
Well,
my favorite part of that song too is like whenever at the very end, wherever I really mean a cow's mouth. She's a big fat fucking bitch. Every little cow's mouth. Like
yeah.
that shit.
Um, so when I worked at the steakhouse, there's a guy named Kyle, and he's a black guy, and he always says, "See, that's not really a black guy's name, but I'm Kyle." He would say it like that, and then he's from Colorado, so as his I would go, "Hey, Kyle." He'd be like, "Man, shut up." He's like 45. He's older, it's like 10 years older than me, but I mean, he's actually a filmmaker, and him and I we talk about stuff. So I'm gonna bring him on one of my shows, but he I always go, "Hey, Kyle," and then everybody's like, "What is he talking about?" He's like, "South Park." He's like, how do you know? He's like, I'm from Denver. It's like, I'm like, hey, man, I can't hang it.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't really an avid smoker when I was younger, and it was like in my 30s. So watching this now older and being an avid smoker, I'll say that the Cartman voice, I have lost it. I haven't practiced it in years, but as I watch this nowadays, I'm like, there's really nothing. I've seen way worse. There's people were
Dude,
for
you know.
shitting about this. They're shit, and that's what they're exaggerating. I mean, I want to say Terrence and Phillip is Matt and Trey.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
I think that's why those characters are like they're like, dude, we're idiots. Look at look what we're doing for like, and you're offended at that. Like, look what we're not even doing anything. I mean,
I farted on the set of Blue Lagoon once.
oh, Brooke Shields.
We trusted you, Conan.
Oh yeah, he goes. I want to uncut kills. He goes, oh, by the way, before we move on, finally, that's Mike
Dude,
Judd.
we just
Dude, I love this
Kenny.
episode. I didn't even know
Kenny.
that. I didn't even know that was him.
Dude, I looked it up. Yeah, or I think I might have seen it in the credits or something like that. But yeah, yeah, dude, that's crazy because I think what Matt Stone voices him like his muffled voice.
Yeah, Tim, and then it was Mike Judd. I'm like, how does he get into all this again? And even they didn't bring him up in the I didn't remember them bringing him up in the Blu-ray commentating, but they did bring up Eric Idle, and I was like, oh yeah, because he's also in my other favorite movie, 1986 Transformers the movie. He's in that movie, so you know, it's like I was like, well, I like that he's still doing work, but yeah, definitely the whole penis thing about Saddam Hussein shows a penis, and like I was saying earlier, hey, come on, big juicy. Who else am I gonna think of? I was gonna say that the Simpsons movie is kind of similar in structure, and they do show Bart Simpson's penis.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I don't know where to begin with the Simpsons movie. I was gonna just kind of rant and see what you can pick from it, because I don't know. I seriously don't know where to start. I don't know if you remember.
Start at the beginning, man.
Do you remember? I know, right? I started at the beginning. Thank you. Now I'll say this. I don't. Do you remember your first Simpsons episode?
Oh gosh.
It's hard, but that's easy for me though.
It is. Gosh, man, it would. So my mom had a Suburban that had like TVs in it.
Dude, no, you were living it up.
Dude, I'm telling you. But even crazier, it picked up like local TV stations.
Oh,
I don't know how. These were like anyway, it was the coolest damn Suburban any we ever had. And so like it was a 30-minute drive to get home from where my mom worked. She worked for my dad.
Yeah.
Right. And so to get home from where I went to school and all that was like 30-40 minutes depending on traffic. And so what I would do is I would sit in the front seat, lean my chair all the way back, and then because it was like one of those TVs that flipped down, right?
Yeah.
And I would just instead of flipping it down, I would just like watch it like up top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and like I would click on and The Simpsons would be on Fox. I mean, this is like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, so it's all syndicated. The one that sticks out that I remember the most was it was an episode where they were talking about Bible stories, and it.
Oh, yeah, that's way like season 6 or something, man. That's,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think it's even further than that. I think it's like season 10.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I'm trying to remember that. Okay.
Yeah, and that's the first one that pops out. I also owned season 9 of. I bought a DVD, and for some reason I started at season 9. I didn't start with season 1 or anything like that, but I bought that entire season on DVD. And that's the one where they had they go to New York and
the hot dog. They get the car stuck and
yeah, exactly. And then you what else happens in that season? You have Joe. I think it's Joe Namath in there with Bart Starr, Lisa the Skeptic. I know that's one where they find like a fossil of an angel or something like that.
That's right. It was the mall. They go to the mall for that.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, and then you have Lisa the Simpson where she thinks she's stupid, and
dude, that's a good episode too. Because I think is that the one where Bart is actually considered smart or no?
I don't know if he's considered smart. I know that Homer has to bring in like a whole at the end of the episode. He brings in all these Simpsons, and they're all men, and they're all like really stupid. And then he's like, "Well, then Marge's like, you didn't ask any of the women," and they're all like doctors and lawyers and shit. And they're like, "Oh, it's carried on the Y chromosome," something like that, or whichever one it is.
Yeah.
But
The X.
Yeah, dude, that was a good season. I would just watch that over and over and over again. And yeah, so like I said, that the Bible stories one is the first one that pops into my head as the first Simpsons, just because I wasn't even that young whenever I watched that. It's just the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Um, but like I said, I did own season 9. Honestly, right now with Disney Plus and everything, I if I ever don't have anything to watch,
Are you binging
I'll just put the
Simpsons?
Sims. Yeah, dude, I'm on my second like viewing. Like I just let it kind of run, and I'll pick
Yeah.
up an episode here or there, like it's background noise. And they just added season 31 not too long ago, so I've just been running through it, and it's funny, dude, because The Simpsons. I mean, like I said, it's been going on for 31 years. Like it's older than me, barely, but older
Dude,
than me. How
so
fucking
so
crazy
that's what I
is
was asking.
that?
That's what I was asking you because I'm stepping in. CJ's older than also older than you. So what I was going to say with Simpsons, I was there day one, and I remember day one because I remember being like, "What is this show getting in front of my living color?" And at that time, animation was. I mean, Simpson is the pioneer of this. They are the MTV. Had their little ways they're doing it, and Nickelodeon even was trying to segue over. They're doing like Ren and Stimpy and whatnot.
Yeah,
And they were trying to get into it, but the hey Marge, hey, this the Homer first coming out, like the way he is. I think it's like he's like that for the first few seasons. In season 3, they gave him a facelift, and this is what I wanted to say this about Simpsons. It's like a old friend. It's like a friend you like. I was with because basically, and the way it's easy for me is like I went 1990 or 91. I was in first grade, and then 2012, 2, I was in 12th grade. So or I graduated with 3. It's kind of different, but anyways, like the way I see it, every time the Simpsons would come out, the first grade through like 5th grade, we binge watch all that. Not binge watch. You have to stay and watch all the episodes. And dude, I am programmed with a lot of Simpsons in me, but as I got older, Simpsons kind of was just staying like, sorry, dude, you got to go this way, and we're gonna just kind of do this thing. There was a point where Simpsons and I like broke up, and it was
yeah,
kind of not a bad breakup, but it's like, hey, I'm still here, and I'm like, wow, you're still doing the same thing, and I don't ever want to turn my back on Simpsons because it was like my animation thing. But like Robert Rodriguez, I found more of a passion for him after. Oh, and by the way, I just found out he's doing a new Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and I'm like, what?
yeah. I did too.
I'm like,
But
I'm not.
it's called We Are Heroes, so it's just like there. It's not necessarily a like Shark Boy and Lava Girl
Okay,
2.
I
It's
thought
more of like they're in the same universe
okay because I'm like, come on,
kind of
dude. 'Cause
thing.
I saw like 2 little clips of it. It already looked horrible. And that clips like two stills, and I was like, why do we need to catch it? Why I started thinking about it. I was like, come on, man. What about us? What about your guys the guys that first or for the fans that got you started? That's where I'm at. Like, come on, the ones like, why don't you bring us? What are you? Is that was the Dust Till Dawn series for us, or maybe I need to get back into the loop? I don't know what's going on, but I was like, another one of these. I'm gonna watch them, but still, like, I'm like, ah. But this is the same thing with Simpsons. Like, I feel like Simpsons has been around so long for me, and we kind of grew up together. Um, it was kind of like the PG version of being naughty because even like wait, what's the worst thing you've ever done? I once cut the head off a statue. Well, I once made a boy be chili and eat his parents. It's like it's just like
Oh shit, dude. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm saying like they have the Simpsons did it episode of South Park too,
Hmm.
and I want to say, but from the movie, I feel like the Simpsons movie took a lot from South Park movie.
Yeah.
Main thing I want to say about the Simpson movie, since I've been saying we've been growing up, so they started what 1990 and 91, and the movie was in 2007. It feels and it sucks because South Park literally had season 1, started season 2, did the movie, then finished season 3. So it's like they're in the beginning of their story. Simpsons have been going on for a long time. It was long overdue. If they were gonna do a movie, I don't think they should have done a movie, man, at 2007 by this point, because at this point it's that whole relationship. Like, put a ring on her finger, put a ring on her finger. She's gonna leave. You need to step like Simpsons. They feel like you have to make a movie. Like you have to make a movie. You have to make a, and I think that's what I think they forced this movie. I don't think
Do you
Simpsons should.
think? do you think that maybe it was more along the lines of like, not that they wanted a movie, but they felt kind of like what you were saying, like they were doing the same thing over, like not even the same thing, but they just kind of got in a rut. And this movie was like, okay, this is going to get us out in the mainstream. Like we'll put a movie out there and see where our fans are at, kind of thing. It was almost like a litmus test
I,
of
I think it was just they made the movie, and this is my opinion. I don't know anything, but I think like they made the movie just to be like, here's the movie that you wanted. Okay, we're still gonna go back to the seasons. Like I think they where
no.
South Park kind of did the other way.
If Matt Groening is going to make a movie, I want a Futurama movie. Uh,
Oh,
even more so than what we got, because
you already jumped in on where I was gonna go, man. I love it. Thank you for bringing me here.
I mean Futurama is. I was reading this the other day. They actually had like PhDs on that writing
I think that's
staff. Like I had
eight,
no clue.
yeah, 7, 8 PhDs.
You
They're
know,
and they're
they
and
they
scientists.
they
They had
wrote like so,
scientists.
yeah, like they wrote what was it, some I can't remember which episode, but they like wrote a theorem for that episode so it could work, like actual factual, wrote out um,
The quantum
some kind
theorem,
of
what?
or
Or,
possibly I was thinking maybe it was the
I
Farnsworth paradox, but I could be wrong.
that could be on too. Because there's the one where Bubblegum Tate talks about I think it is the Farnsworth paradox. Yeah, I think it is that the paradox. Because remember the Globetrotters, they're all smart, and
Yeah. Oh, that's the Farnsworth paradox is whenever they go into a different universe. So it may be different, but the Globetrotters one, I think you're right. I think that's the
but
one
I
that
think
you're
the same
doing.
episode, maybe. But okay, so all right, sorry Simpsons, we're gonna have to do this to you because you did Spawn in 1999. You spawned Futurama. Um, my number one maybe, my number one show, right next to the critic. Now South Park doesn't fall in my list of animation shows. It doesn't. South Park is always going to be on top of it because it's like earlier you said it's concurrent with news and everything. I always watch what they do and I'm never let down. So I just put South Park. You're the god. There, you put you there. That's it. I'm not gonna mess with you. Michael Jordan. You're right there next to Michael Jordan. You know, like
Yeah.
that's it. Like I'm not gonna question that. So what's number two and all that? That becomes my number one. The critic, I wish that I at least gotten the 4 seasons or 5, or maybe I'll try to bring them back, man. I love The Critic. I think it's one of my favorite shows of all time, animated. And then Futurama. Futurama by far. I love the way they did the movies though. I did like if they're gonna. That's how they got their market back, so they can make the episodes. I think you can still have Futurama around. I honestly think you could have the staff. I think you have the crew. I think you have the cast. Futurama is just so funny. It's hilarious. It's real. It's got like you really after you watch Futurama. I binge all the in 2011. I 2010 2011. I like all that's all I did was watch Futurama. Like, and then once the movies came out, I was like, whoa, this is different. And I wish South Park. I mean, I wish Simpsons would have done this, but I think the fact
Yeah.
that they were so big that they couldn't do that. And I like. I mean, I wish that Futurama comes back. I even like the when they came back with the other seasons. I mean, like
Yeah.
they have random episodes like the anthologies where they talk about like the seals, that the talk about the turtles, you know, the salmon. Like that's
Yeah.
just science. That's just pure science, and they're just using their characters to describe how the salmon works and the life cycle of salmon. So that being said, man, it sucks because I feel Simpsons is typecast and they're stuck in this loop where even after the main characters pass away and die, they're you know they'll be able to loop the voices or whatever. I mean, be able you could do whatever the voices. I will also say Simpsons kind of lost me with the when they got rid of Hank Azaria as a Pooh. I was
Yeah.
I was like, what? Oh, you know, I'm not. I think that documentary came out called like "I'm Not Your Pooh" or something like that. And then they said he
Yeah.
came to that to me is just like Bart Simpson. Bart Simpson is a fictional character voiced by a woman.
Yeah.
How does that even like? How does that even like? Like you know, prosper? So I'm not trying to offend. I'm not trying to be. I'm just saying like, what's the line you draw, man? Like, you're gonna stay on air with what? You're not. You're losing your integrity of your show. You know, like you're
What
not even.
about Carl? I mean, he's voiced by a white dude.
I mean, apparently they got rid of the actor who did Cleveland Brown was a white guy, and he from you know the from
Dude,
American Dad,
they
and I'm
they
not
did
sorry,
that
Family
with
Guy.
that show Big Mouth too.
I caught wind
I
of that.
saw that.
I caught wind of that. Yeah, because the characters
Have you
have
have you have you seen Big Mouth?
I haven't, man. I need to. I wasn't a big Nick
It's
Kroll
not
fan.
bad.
I'll tell you this. I wasn't a big Nick Kroll fan until I saw him on Joe Rogan, and then he started making sense to me. And then
Yeah.
then I went back and started seeing a bunch of Nick Kroll, and I was like, I love that guy.
Yeah, the Kroll show was a little. It was a lot. It was a lot.
I think he's one. He was a step. Like there was nothing there at that time, and he went for it. I think he did a good job. I think he'd been able to do some memes and whatnot, but I think he like us as people, we did something just to kind of bounce off, and that was his show because he doesn't really stick out. It didn't really have too many. And I think there was nothing around, so I think if that makes sense,
It wasn't like Key and Peele, dude. Like I think they came out. I think they came out right around the same time. Is that
probably,
correct?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Key and Peele probably stole the light, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
But Nick Kroll's he's funny. Big Mouth, I have not seen it, but even like stuff like that, so it's like I don't know. Cultural appropriation is stupid in this world because it's make believe. Have you ever?
Yeah.
I was thinking about when we brought this up. I was like, if we bring this up, I think I'm gonna go there. But I do fall under the minority card. I am a minority, and I'll say that. Has anybody ever tried to work with minorities? It's pretty damn hard. So like, if you only want minority people to do minority characters, good luck, man. Like I'm just coming from the filmmaker, from the actor, from the writer, from just being on everything and being from this being part like that. Like I still work with minorities, so I'm like, dude, this shit. It's just the way we are. We're difficult. But you know, when people feel like they're crossing the line on something like that, I'm like, unless you're being offensive and you're like blatantly like, you know, if you're secretly being offensive, I can't tell you're secretly, but unless you're really doing it out there, then I'm like, man, that's messed up. But hey, whatever. Like if I don't know, man, I don't because the whole Hollywood thing gets really weird, like way people are and people having to. I mean, I don't even want to get into this race thing because we didn't bring it up with the Jordan Peele's movies, but just like things like that, like why are like I don't know. I'm not saying that Pooh thing's a big character. I'm not Indian. I get confused for an Indian 99% of the time, so I kind of feel like you know, like I feel like or an Italian or somebody from the Mediterranean or anywhere that's a brown person. I get confused for them. And when I saw that, I was like, well, I guess would I be able to voice the character? Would there be an issue if I started doing the Abu El Come again? You know, it's like, would there be an issue like that? Like, I don't get it. Like, we got to figure out where the line's at, and that's why. And even South Park talks about the token character. He's he's actually voiced by their token. Like they only have a black. Well, at the time, they only had one black guy on the crew, and then they go, man, we need to get a black guy to do this voice. Wait, where's our token at? And they found we have one black guy. And I said, oh, he's the voice. So that's I love the way that South Park even does that because this guy was some kind of like his name's Adrian, and he was some kind of just like starting off guy on South Park, and because he was happened to be the token, they put him on and he voiced the character, and he got more pay, and now he's like an executive producer. Like it's like so cool. Like he just went with it, you know. And I don't mean to be too harsh on my minorities. I just like to talk a little bit because I'm like, come on, guys. It's like you guys get in line, like that's not right. I'm like, we're all different. Like, who cares? Just keep going. Like, I don't know. I get a little upset with it because I feel like we would be able to progress more and get farther. But these little like if our animated shows can't even do this, like all we really should do is watch an animated show and be like, is this rated PG, PG-13, rated R? That's all we should. We shouldn't get involved and be like, that needs to be changed. That's not PC. That's not. And I love that South Park does that. I think Simpsons came in like that. I remember Simpsons kind of being like, you know, Homer Simpson choking Bart Simpson, like, oh shit, my dad did that. My dad, oh, maybe we should stop doing that. And I was like, you know, maybe that's a thing, but like Simpsons stopped being offensive, and I'm not saying they stopped being offensive. I just think they stopped risking and watching what they're saying. And what happens is they don't get funny. You're not given the same product that we signed up for.
They take shots at things that like. So in this one, in the movie, whenever they're talking about Disney, is like, I'm the mascot of an evil corporation. You know, they take shots at I guess at like bigger people, if that makes sense. Like they'll take shots at like Fox, or they'll take shots at Disney.
It's like you're taking shots at your dad. Because without knowing, they didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't know Phoenix. I mean, that Fox was going to be at Disney. But even though there's movies, I saw this on Disney Plus. And even though I own the movie, I saw it on Disney Plus. I'm like, they take shots at them, but they're not like South Park. South Park shows Mickey Mouse how he is if he was a really person.
You need to make those girls' or Johnny's tingle. You know, like
or like when he's having sex or something.
Yeah, dude. Did you see the pandemic special?
oh yeah, the
They
bat.
had.
It's like a rat.
Yeah, and then what is it, like a chinchilla, or not a chinchilla, but whatever the hell it
oh that
was,
oh
like.
yeah, I forgot what it's called. I forgot what it's called. But even like
Yeah.
that with I just think with Simpsons, like we're not even talking about it, the movie at this point, because the movies like I mean we could, the similarities are the Irish guy, then the British guy from South Park, like that kind of character. When you're younger, that guy does exist, and it's kind of annoying because this is like, I'm from a small town, and then when you get your
I just came from Yaldo with a 4.0 average, with a grade point average.
academics, and then he says it again. He's like, "Who are you?" He does the same thing. I just came from the school, and I get the 4.0 in the 4.0 in the academics.
Yeah.
I think that guy does exist. And when we see it, like, I like that part I can relate to, where you're gonna like you go somewhere and then like, oh, this is my so and so's friend or so and so's family member or cousin or something from San Antonio, and here they are, or some Austin or wherever, and you're just like, okay, but to me that's something I can relate to. Where Simpsons nowadays, I don't know, man. I've lost track. I remember I saw like 2012, 2013. I saw a couple of episodes of Simpsons. And I thought they were funny as hell. I was like, oh, they're coming back, and then it's time is just like plowing through, and I don't have any notes for Simpsons the movie, man, because I feel like I could just talk about it. Like I said earlier, I think I've seen this movie like 10 times.
They're so with the show and everything. Like I said, I've just kind of had it on repeat and everything. It does it. I wouldn't even say that it is not on par with South Park as far as pushing the limits. Watching older episodes and then thinking like, okay, if I was back in this time, yeah, I was kind of pushing the limits. Like before South Park came out, like yeah, it definitely was up there. Like, oh, we're making Whoopi or something like that, or anything like this, dude. Like even in season 9, like they didn't like I said the.
Sorry, man. Sorry, man. Is something asleep with you by you or something?
Yeah.
Is that Kenya? Or the dog? Or something?
It's the dog. It's the dog.
Okay. Because I was like, I just started hearing something. And I'm like, what's going on over here?
I don't know. And,
so it's your dog. Okay, it's your pet. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I had to make sure. I was like, I was like, it's not my side, is it?
No.
All right, keep going. I will edit that out of there.
Thank you.
I will totally. So let's pick up where we left off. So here.
All right. Yeah. So anyway, we in that episode with the Twin Towers. I mean, they can't even have Homer Simpson like peeing. They don't even have that.
Oh,
like they don't have that sound or anything like that. It's like that's too offensive for TV. So I think that's interesting. But I mean, it really, like, I guess it's not even offensive, dude. Like they find some funny things and they poke fun at it and stuff like that. It's
oh, dude,
I really
back
like The Simpsons.
I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt. Keep going. I'm sorry. Keep on going. I totally interrupted.
No. I was just saying for the entirety of the show, I think it's a solid show. Like they're good, man. They're a commentary on the world. At
South
least
Park or Simpsons?
Both. But
okay.
The Simpsons, I mean, they just can do. I don't know, man. They can do almost anything, and they have done everything, and that's why you have that episode of South Park where they're saying The Simpsons already did it. Now South Park is a little bit more in your face, where Simpsons is they have to be more subtle, and I like that in your face. I mean, if we're gonna say which is our favorite show, I'm gonna say South Park.
Yeah.
Between the two, it's no competition. I mean, I am. If they say there's a new episode of South Park coming out, I'm all on it. If there's a new episode of The Simpsons, I'm like, well, okay. Honestly, unless it's the Treehouse of Horror, I'm not just like, oh my god, I need to see this, because that's where you're going to get the not even the raunchiness, but like
the cool stuff. The
stuff exactly.
The stuff that's out of the box, stuff that's not really Simpsons. It's Simpsons characters, but not Simpsons reality. And that's what I'm happy you brought that up. I said I would have preferred to watch like three versions of Treehouse of Horror opposed to this, like a long version of that opposed to this. The Treehouse of Horror, I think I want to catch up on Treehouse of Horror because I haven't even seen the last like 10, but I want to say like, are they good?
Yep. Well, I mean, they're okay. What I was thinking, dude, is like you could have like a Tales from the Crypt, but with like a Simpsons movie,
That would
and
have
that
been
would be fucking badass. Like,
badass. Yes.
and you could do it like if they were gonna make a second Simpsons movie, I think that's what they should do. It's just like focus on that, and then you can have like a horror, like
Dude,
comedy kind of thing.
I think you cracked the code on something, man. I think you can actually, at this point, The Simpsons just should go and do other, like, we know the characters so well. They should just go do other genres with those characters, horror movies, sci-fi movies, like do stuff and just see what happens. I'm gonna go back real quick to South Park. I forgot I had this where Kyle's mom is talking to the Canadian minister, and he says, "Look at your beady eyes," and he goes, "That's racist. That's racist. This is 1999." And they're just saying he's using that, like that's racist. That's like, oh my god, we've been using it for 21 years.
Yeah, and dude, like honestly, with Kyle's mom and like her just like disregard for her adopted son being
I know,
Canadian, and
Canadian.
like you have a lot of those parallels from like the Holocaust and everything like that. Go to these what would they call them, like fun camps,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you see all this is like the March of War with Snacky S'mores. Like you have that feel of like this is World War II, and then like it's just you see those similarities, and you're just like, okay, you like I said, I mean, you see that cycle, you see that people getting offended, and like this is like being offended to the ultimate thing, and this is what could potentially happen if you take it that far.
Yeah,
If you want to censor and you want to control everything, then I mean, shit can hit the fan and really fast, and we're seeing that every goddamn
I
day
know, dude.
nowadays.
I
You
mean,
know,
we should be at the point where we know that. Oh, look, another person with too many vowels, and sorry, like it's just I keep getting these weird friend requests on Facebook, and like all these O's and U's and A's. I'm like, no, I don't need. But sorry, this is a site. It was a notification. I was just gonna say, like with the sensitivity of nowadays, like the internet, people, we should just know that's a toxic place, man. It's a very toxic. It's a very negative. Very, you're gonna like, come. If man, when my brother was growing up, I remember they were saying like, oh, there's cyberbullying, and I was like, well, shit, I was bullying. What's cyberbullying? Like, what is that like? And it's like, it's the same. It's not bad. Like it's. I mean, back then when it first started, when I first saw cyberbullying, now they're like people are trying to exploit you and trying to tell people where you live, and like cyberbullying has gone like a whole another level because of adults. Now, like I think like with like, I mean, watching Simpsons and watching South Park, yeah, I feel like I'm getting rated R compared to rated PG, and I don't think I can get the same results, man. Like I feel like Simpsons came in, like they had to kind of peek their head out a little bit, but they were not. They're just they've been PC animation. I think that's what we're finding out. I think we're finding out that,
yeah,
that since day one, Simpsons has been PC animation, and I think South Park, even because I mean Family Guy, he came back what 7 times, freaking Seth MacFarlane, like he got
yeah,
canceled. And to this day, I will always respect Family Guy from when I'm one of the guys that bought the DVDs when they got canceled and they brought them back. Like I bought all those
yeah.
DVDs, but I'll say like Family Guy is Family Guy. Same thing with Simpsons. I mean, South Park has gone 20 years, with 22 years, and
Yeah, I think they're on the
23,
23rd or
30, 20 years. So
24th.
let's say like that,
Yeah,
and it doesn't annoy me. It doesn't, like you said, as soon as it comes out, I want to know. Like even when I missed like 3 episodes, I was like, oh, I better catch up. Like I sit and I watch
yeah,
them all. Outside of Futurama, I won't do that. If they bring back the Critic, I'll watch that. South Park, I mean Simpsons, I'll wait. Family Guy, I don't care. Family Guy is literally South Park messed up Family Guy by saying
yeah,
that giving out their structure, because now I don't know if they did that on purpose or they just wanted to break off. I know their interview that they were like, we're not like Family Guy. Like they got really
yeah,
pissed off, like Trey Parker, and I think that's why he did that episode. But after he did that and he called out their bullshit, I was like, you ruined it, man. Like I can't respect
yeah.
Family Guy anymore. Because, man, and then let me say this as an artist, because I'm an artist. I'll say this: if it feels like someone can just pick it up and do it at that level, it's not really worth it. It should be something that we look at like, oh crap, this is something hard. This is something we can't. This is a challenge. And at that level, with the same jokes, content like that, it gets to me to be like, it's not that impressive, I guess. And I think that's what they found out about South Park, the movie. But I think that's why it's a musical now, because it makes more sense. It's something different, and they really were like, hey, this is a movie. We got to go rated R, and we got to pull out all the stops, and we got to go with all the F words and everything. Just keep going as hard as we can. With the Simpson movie, where it was like, yo, where's our movie at? Like if they would have made the Simpson movie in 1999 or 1995, whatever the movie was, it would have been better than 2007. That's too long, man.
And they had planned to make, what was it, the Camp Krusty episode, and that was initially going to be the Simpsons movie. I mean,
Which one?
I'd read this. It was the Camp Krusty where Bart and Lisa go off. It was like in '96 or something like that. That was initially supposed to be a movie. Let me see here. Krusty.
Well, I seen the where Krusty tries to. I mean, Sideshow Bob tries to blame. Tries to blame Krusty on the episode. That's the only one I know of. Or no, there was
Yeah, no, let's see here. It was like let's see. Okay, it was season 4 episode. So Bart and Lisa attend Camp Krusty, but it's nothing like they thought it would be. Homer's hair grows back and he loses weight while the kids are away. All right, that's pretty funny. So let's see here. It is, normally it says like the length of it. It's season 4, episode 1. So let's see here. Yeah, I'm like 90% sure that this was supposed to be, like I read somewhere that this was supposed to be like the original Simpsons movie, and they just couldn't. I don't know whether they couldn't figure it out on how to like expand it all the way or something like that. But that was the original idea.
Okay.
Was Camp Krusty. Yeah. So I mean, the thought of a Simpsons movie hasn't, because that came out what? Let's see here, 92. So it was season 4, but it was 92.
Yeah, I got you.
Whenever that was.
Well, that would have been right about a good time for them then.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right, and I think it's crazy that you have South Park, who was around for 2 seasons, and then this movie was kind of, I wouldn't even say it was a launching point, but
Yeah.
it definitely shot South Park into more fame and stuff like that. Whereas like the Simpsons, like you said, I mean, it was just like, all right, where's the movie? And
Yeah, I
they
think I
finally
think or
they finally gave. It was almost like it had nothing. Not I wouldn't even say it didn't have anything to give. Like I enjoy the hell out of the Simpsons movie. Like it's a fun ride. It is. And I think in a later episode, you have Mr. Burns, like he's like trying to figure out a way to punish the town or something. He's like, let's put a dome over him, and they almost have like that. They're making fun
they
of
do.
it and call back to it.
Mr. Burns says a line in the movie that cracks me up. After they want the electricity, he goes, "Look, a white man in charge for the first time."
Yeah, I think I wrote that down too. Yeah, yeah. Finally, for once, the rich white man is in charge.
He's like always living in the past, and it's always like I'm always like in different time zone.
Yeah, dude. And well, and sorry, the thing that's kind of different from the show. I mean, just a few things, like you said, our transition to it. You see Bart's penis.
They do.
Yeah, they do show that, which it's funny because you don't even expect it. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. But it's a PG-13 movie, so they can get away with it for that long. I'm sure
the
they
animation.
Had, exactly. You see Homer flipping off the town whenever he's going into the sinkhole.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the movie, I noticed that Marge says, "Will somebody throw the goddamn bomb?" And so I don't know.
That those are probably the 3 riskiest moves they were gonna do.
Exactly, dude.
I think that's the best we got.
Yeah, and and there were funny scenes that weren't, what was it? Whenever the animals help him undress, and all those birds are flying in to help him, it's like, oh, we gotta call in more birds, and the eagle comes in.
They pick him up, yeah.
Yeah. And then I love whenever the animals are like, they finally get them undressed, and they like see what they're doing. They're like,
oh yeah. So it does have some, but the thing is, with the movie, it feels too much. I think what we said earlier about the Treehouse of Horrors would have been way better than that, because it just feels like an episode. When I'm watching it right now, I was like, this feels like the last episode I saw. Like this has been the last episode I saw of Simpsons. But where South Park, it really feels like something completely different. Like you can watch all 24 seasons and then watch the musical, and you'd be like, oh crap, they made a musical. Where this Simpson movie just feels like it's a Simpson, like it's just a regular episode. I'm at the part that I think that we used some jokes, but even the part where it says the wanted, and they color the face in and they find him. They do
Yeah.
that in the movie with Leslie Nielsen called Wrongfully Accused. He does that in that movie. So I was like, oh well,
Well,
they got
and here's a question for you: did Bart see them and then like draw a picture of them,
ah
or and then also, man, like okay, so I'm gonna kind of fast forward to the end of this movie. Um, you have Russ Cargill, who is the main villain, the main antagonist, right? Who's voiced by Albert
I'm
Brooks,
Albert Brooks.
who
I was
goes
gonna say,
by he goes by A Brooks in this. And in the early seasons of The Simpsons, there's an episode where Homer gives Marge a bowling ball for her birthday.
yes.
She ends up going bowling and all this other stuff. She meets some French dude. So that guy is voiced by Albert Brooks as well. The Frenchman that she's
Yes,
like
yes.
almost has an affair with. And then he's also like Hank Scorpio or some shit like that. And another like
So
it's the episode where Homer.
Albert
What's
Brooks
that?
is a lot in this, huh?
Yeah. I mean, he has a lot invested in The Simpsons. But I think the funny part about like the Hank Scorpio episode is like Homer is he's uh he's employed by a Bond villain essentially, dude, and he's so oblivious to it, man. Like this guy's trying to take over the
That's
world
true.
and shit
That's
like
true. That's
that,
true.
and he's like, "Oh, Hank, I can't work here anymore. You know, it's just taking too much of the family." And like they have machine guns going off, and like he literally has like a James Bond character over there, almost about to get cut in half and stuff. And he's like, "Well, Homer, if you don't think you can work here anymore, that's fine." Da 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 da. And he just like lets him go. But so like I said, cutting to the end with Albert Brooks, I just want to break away and say that that he is a long-term Simpsons person.
Yeah, he's been
So Russ Cargill at the end, you see him talking to the town, and they try to distract him and climb up the rope, and then Homer comes in, and he screws it up, and then they have this big deal where he rides up in the bike and da da da, the big climax of the movie. And then they jump across the gorge. They make it. They finally get it settled. And then Russ Cargill is right behind him. So, and this is right after the dome breaks. So I'm not trying to throw plot holes into the Simpsons movie because it's an animated movie. But how the fuck did he get there so fast? First off, was he in the dome the whole time? And if so, was he going to explode himself and kill himself too?
I think okay, so to answer that one, I think he was at the dome and I think he would do that. He had the passion for, I don't know. You're right. It just because continuity break it here.
Because I mean, like he's there. He's like going to go finish off Homer. Who I mean, Homer even admits he's like, I knew you'd be here, guy I've never met before.
Yeah.
You know. And of course, it's Maggie who says, "Oh, weren't you a happy little accident?"
Maggie, and then she shot Mr. Burns. Man, that was a big deal. I don't remember. You remember that? Who shot Mr. Burns? That was a big. They made a big deal.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't there, like you said, from the beginning or anything.
Oh yeah,
but I do remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they even put it like in the paper. They put in the newspaper like who shot Maggie, who shot Mr. Burns. Like it was a big deal. Real shout out real quick. Tom Hanks makes a cameo as Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
What the hell's that about? You know,
the U.S. government has run out of credibility, so they're using some of mine now.
So I was like, oh god, and that's even like a kind of foreshadowing. What's up?
I really love the part at the very end with Tom Hanks is like, if you see me in real life, just move along, don't bother me. But so kind of going back to what we were saying earlier about like the government's being involved in both of these movies.
They are very
you do have them, you know, like, oh, the government's not listening to our conversations. And then you have a shot to the NSA.
Yeah.
Listening into everybody's conversation, which, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, man, but I don't think a lot of people were privy to that information at that time in 2007. I mean, I don't think that Edward Snowden really broke that stuff until I think it was 2013.
Yeah, later. Yeah.
And so, you know, like they're kind of making light of that in the movie, which, like I said, with the Patriot Act and everything, you would expect that to happen. But I don't think I think people almost took it as a joke, like, oh, okay, you know, they're listening into these meaningless conversations, because that's literally what you hear. The first two conversations are just completely meaningless. and then you hear like they hear like, oh, we're wanted fugitives, and then that guy gets up to like, the government has actually found somebody that they're looking for. Hey everybody, look what I did. And so I thought that was kind of interesting too. Like they were, like I said, not really, predicting the future, but I feel like that if you were in that deep with like big corporations, you have to be knowledgeable to some of that stuff that's going on there. And I think a lot of these guys kind of leak that stuff out little by little.
Also, too, remember they always have those Simpsons predicted stuff. I mean, they could have predicted.
Yeah, with Trump and everything like that. It's not like he didn't say, "Oh, I'm not." He was saying I was going to run for president eventually. Yeah, he was saying it since like the
80s, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Like Oprah or something like that. Yeah,
so like in the 80s. I mean, it's just for the movie itself and like a whole. Simpsons is not a bad movie. Like I said, I've seen like 10 times, 11 times. But to me, I just feel like it's kind of like me just watching. It's just kind of like an old buddy that I haven't grown. Like we grew up together, but I've grown differently, and they're still the same. I feel that Simpsons, and I feel like South Park is my old buddy. That's like, hey, check out what I'm doing now. Hey, check out what I'm doing. Or like not even that, just like someone talks to someone like, hey, like someone tells them to shut up. No, you shut up. That to me, that's what I feel like. With
South Park's that friend that you still get high with. Like. Yeah, it's like your drug dealer, man. You're like, oh yeah, I'll sit around and smoke with you for a second. Yeah. But I think what's really great about the Simpsons movie, and he really has a lot of great lines, is Chief Wiggum.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I like Chief Wiggum that much, but whenever they're bringing that body to the lake, and he's
I thought it was a body too until he said leaves. And come on, you gotta listen, Lou. You gotta
listen, Lou.
Hey, Chief, is it a body? No, I thought that too until I said leave, bag of leaves. Then you gotta listen. He's trying to give it.
You gotta learn to listen, Lou. And I think it's just the way he says shit that's just so damn funny, because he's serious.
Free donuts. Oh, that was a close one. Like he blows his head off. Man, it's weird. It is like South Park, like you just said, it is your friend you still have drinks with and smoke with and hang out with. They're still there for you. They've been around for a while. Simpsons, man, we're the same age. I mean, I'm older, but we're like the same age and like growing up wise. And I just think, like, to rate these, I don't think giving Simpson movie my rating, whatever it decides on, is not giving the whole series justice, but the movie. I'm only going to rate the movie. I'm not going to rate the show because that's what we got here. Like I said, I wish I would have loved to see a Treehouse of Horror style movie, or just even if they were just to make a Treehouse of Horror movie, I would watch that.
No.
I mean,
you don't even see Kang and Kudos in the movie.
No, yeah, I mean, I think to me this is like the end game, and you kind of have to know everybody, and people are gonna like Endgame. It did have a lot of Avengers or a lot of Marvel characters. To be them on screen, it eats up a lot. And I think they kind of messed up with this movie a little bit because they didn't mess up, but I don't know. Sometimes I think they should have made a 2-parter, or it's just weird. I feel
that was one thing I got to give this movie, man. Is like to be continued. And then, like, honestly, whenever I saw it for the first time, it got me because I was like, to be continued, man. Like, how long have we been here? It just didn't feel like it was like, and then it was like immediately. Now it did kind of. I feel like you had a lot of movies, maybe not around that time, but like you had like The Matrix, and you had, and that was the first thing that kind of popped into mind, like this, to be continued. Like it was almost like that.
Well, yeah, The Matrix
was expected.
The Matrix was like, we'll see how it goes and see if it gets there. I think Simpsons are like, nah, continue the episodes. Let's keep going. Let's see. Yeah. I feel like I didn't do any research on the movie, but I mean, the Flanders and Bart relationship is kind of, was that carried on over to the series? And I mean, Lisa and Wendy falling in love with the foreign dude, the guy, it's kind of funny.
I mean, and you don't see that character calling it all in the TV show. I mean, there's literally like it's the next season is almost like the movie never even happened.
Yeah,
if I'm remembering correct, I feel like they have callbacks to it, but nothing like.
I feel like they just that's what it was. I feel like the movie just had to be made. Like they get it over with.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think the only recurring character that happened after the movie is the fucking pig.
so
Like,
and the pig too. I mean, I get the pig is the issue for all this because he gets the silo and the pig silo, and you fill up in 2 days. What helped? But I think the pig the pig it's kind of he's the pig. How many episodes? Is so many seasons? Is he still around or?
um, yeah, I mean, just like here and there, like they'll bring him in. Um, nothing crazy, but I
See, okay, so we did talk. We talked about the Simpsons score, right? That
yeah,
88 to 77. That's it on the Rotten Tomatoes. That's insane, man. 88% for the tomato meter with critics, and then 77 for the audience. That's for I don't know. I mean, this is the Simpsons movie contains the hearty laughs, biting satire, and honest portrayal of American family that makes the show so popular. And it boasts slicker animation and polished writing that harkens back to the show's glory days. It doesn't. It does. I don't feel like it does that. No,
no.
dude, it's bullshit. No, the movie cost 75 million to make, but it fucking grows. Sorry, Dominica's 536 million. That's insane. I mean, I
How
watched
much did it? How
it.
much did it come?
It cost 75 million, but it made 536.4 million dollars. It's insane. It's like
Jesus.
8 times the amount, almost 8 times the amount. It's like 6 times the amount. Okay, so
Wow.
what would you? What were we rating? What were we doing?
Oh man. So let's go ahead and do. Man. All right, I'm gonna do the Simpsons first. I'm gonna rate the Simpsons and the South Park.
All right, I'll
Or
do that with you.
how about I rate the Simpsons, you rate the Simpsons, then I rate South Park, you rate South Park.
Cool.
Because I the Simpsons I'm gonna give a 9. Um, it went up from an 8, just from this conversation.
Wow, how so?
Just like, and honestly, I probably would have. I started it off at an 8 whenever we first started talking. It went up to a 9, and before we started talking, before tonight, I probably would have given it a 10.
Oh, so you're
But
kind of in that. You kind of stayed a little bit in
I'm
the.
yeah, I'm kind of fluctuating a little bit just because like you brought up a lot of good points. Like it's nothing new really. I mean, like you have a few new things. It's a new story. You go to Alaska. Uh, it did kind of feel like another episode. I think the reason that I enjoyed the Simpsons movies so much before was because I just wasn't well versed in the Simpsons. I think that's another reason they probably did that too, was because like you get some new kids into the
Yeah.
Simpsons. Like you show them this movie and they're like, oh okay, that seems funny, and then you can kind of bring them in, and then you have also what, like 17 seasons you can catch up on.
Yeah.
But even in 2007, I mean, streaming services weren't. I mean, you weren't going to get the Simpsons on there.
You had to buy the DVDs or VHS, or you had to just watch them on TV. They loop them a lot, but
Yeah,
you
and
know what you're watching. Mhm.
so yeah, I mean, it's a solid movie. It really is. Would I tell somebody who would I tell somebody just like to go out of their way to watch this? I don't know. I mean, if they've never seen The Simpsons, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
You could watch The Simpsons movie and not know a whole lot about the characters already and still be just fine.
yeah.
You would probably miss a few minor jokes. I mean, you would. Honestly, I don't even know if you would miss that many jokes. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe like I have one written down, like the Eskimos. Like that they have Eski and then Mo's and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it's a solid movie. You have the boob lady. You have the Epiphatry. I mean, it's funny. It is. It's funny. You have the rock and the hard place scene. Like the things that I remember the most about the Simpsons movie is coming from like the first trailer where you just saw like rough animation
Yeah.
of it coming out. Like whenever he has the sled dogs, like he's like land, land,
Oh,
like he's
really?
telling the, and doing all that. And like I said, they had the rock and the hard place on the like I think it was like the teaser trailer, and he's just like back and forth, and then you
Yeah.
see him hit the rock one more time, and stuff like that. I mean, the story itself isn't just is not. I wouldn't even say it's not original, but it's just like, okay, the town's doomed. Okay, they
Yeah.
get kicked out. They even they did an episode of The Simpsons way later on where it's called like they go to a place called the Outlands, where they're living off the grid and stuff like
Oh,
that
again,
because
yeah.
the town has a secret meeting and they hate the Simpsons and they want to kick him out and like all this other stuff. And so I mean it's something that could have been repeated easily. It has been repeated.
Yeah.
But is it a good movie? Yeah, I mean it's enjoyable,
I
but it's
mean,
just not. It doesn't pop out at you.
nah, for 75 million, yeah, it's enjoyable. But man, you hit a lot of that stuff. I too gave it a 9. Gave it a 9, and I think this with both these movies, South Park and Simpsons movie, they're standalone. They're standalone movies. You don't need
Yep.
the series. You can just watch these movies, and that's. I guess if you want to watch Simpsons in a nutshell, the whole get it. Just watch the movie. If you want to be a hardcore binger, binge it. If you want to just watch some episodes, watch the episodes. Now what I know about movies and now what I know about cinema, and even back then, I'm like, it's not impressive. It's just it is the normal stuff. At least South Park pushed the envelope. South
Mm-hmm.
Park went there. Man, I don't have anything bad to say about Simpsons though, man. They're kind of like they're just older. They're just of the founding fathers. They're just kind of going with it. I would have loved to watch Treehouse of Horror. I keep bringing that up, but I'll say that that something like that would have been cool. Um, even like Maggie's character still doesn't talk. Um, like she was even like a big character in this. The references were funny. Outside of that, yeah, I give it a 9 only because the quality. It's made 75 million. It's a really good movie for that price. But the story is not. I don't want to say anything bad. I don't want to say anything. I'm not forcing. I don't want to say make it. I think I just answered my own question, or I think we figured out that if you just watch the movie, then you get the series, and then it leads you to
Yeah.
open and watching the series, and I think that's what they did. I
Well,
think that's smart.
and I would have to guess a lot of that 75 million went to the actors. I would
Most of
assume
it.
because dude, they're already 17 seasons into
Yeah.
this wildly successful show, and it's not. I mean, obviously they'll have to do the movie, but I'm sure that may have been a hitch for them too, of like trying to get you know get everybody on board. You had to have the entire cast. You had to have the price had to be right for everybody, stuff like that. You know who you don't see in the movie? Lionel Hutz. I don't know whether that's one of my favorite characters in The Simpsons is Lionel Hutz
Was it?
and Troy
Was it?
McClure.
That's Phil Hartman, dude.
It is, but they have the guy who plays Zach Brannigan in Futurama does
Billy
Lionel
West.
Hutz after.
That's true. Yeah.
I I think so. I'm
Brannigan is
pretty
Billy West.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
right. You're right. But I
It has
think
to be.
I think they did something with that character though. I think they kind of put him at rest after.
No, I am pretty sure he's still in later
Man, but he
seasons.
does. He does. You know what? Billy West does do an impersonation of that, and I have heard that. You're right. You're right. I think. Well, you're right. They didn't bring
I
him in,
could be wrong.
but they didn't really
Um,
give a lot of people airtime. It's just too many. Like I said, Endgame. Too many superheroes at 1 minute. It's too much.
True, true. I
Um,
mean, it's just. Well, I mean, you could have even snuck him in there, like, whoa, 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 let me represent
that's
him,
right. I'm
or
Troy McClure.
something.
You might
We
know me
don't.
from.
Yeah, I love the Troy McClure stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, it's solid. It is. It's just like you said. I think you're right too. Like it's so much built up. I really think the opening scene where you have the Itchy and Scratchy movie, and then like you
Homer
have
calls it out. You guys, for something
yeah,
you can watch for free, you
especially
paid.
you.
And he points us out. He
You know.
calls you out. He calls out people, man.
hmm
He calls out the fans.
And even that scene too, where you have them going to the moon, and then you have uh, I can't remember the mouse. Is the mouse itchy or is he scratchy?
I don't know. I think he's itchy.
Regardless, whenever you have the mouse and he's like running for president and stuff like that, and Hillary, oh wait, and then you have that, yeah, like you had those portraits too of like
Yeah, the other one.
the presidents and all this other stuff. So it's an interesting movie, and yeah,
Well, I like how you said
I
it was
know.
also like the political thing before the election. Every time it was election year when those movies came out, so it's true
Yeah.
that may have something to do with it. But I mean, what's up?
I think another question we needed to ask is like, why don't you have a Family Guy movie? Why don't you have a Futurama movie? Why don't you have a Bob's Burger movie? I mean, these are shows that, I mean, what's holding
Well,
them back?
I think the Futurama did those three. They did like 3 or 4 movies.
Yeah,
They did,
I'm
you mean like a cinema?
yeah,
You said like a theatrical
yeah,
release. Um,
something that's really going to kind of boost a lot of
man,
stuff.
what I've gathered with the Futurama diehard, we're a smaller pocket of Simpson, but we're diehard Futurama people. So the cells aren't really there. Um, Bob's Burger, I'm not too familiar with. I know the show, but I'm not too familiar with the fans. I don't know how Bob's Burger seems like it should have a feature. It should have like you
Yeah.
could have enough. You have enough to do that. Um,
What about Family Guy? What do you think there? Yeah, I don't think they can put a story together.
it's repeat, and as you were like I said, unless you were to take the characters from Family Guy and put them in another movie that's not Family Guy, but use it's I don't know. That's something. As I'm thinking about it, like Simpsons, I feel like I should have got to know you better or grown with. But it's like it's either you're either with Simpsons or you're not. By this point, in my feel my age, that you have to kind of like there's other stuff now. There's other things you want to go check out. And I think
No.
I mean even South Park taking their time right now to finish this episode, or they just did the pandemic special. They haven't even aired anything else because they're just kind of waiting. So we'll see.
Well, it's difficult, man. Like they don't, because they're still in LA, or they're still in Hollywood,
Yeah,
and the restrictions are real there. I mean, it's not like here in Texas where you can go out and about and
yeah,
do
that's
shit.
true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Um, you know,
Well, let's move on to the movie then. Rate would you give the South Park movie?
13.
Oh,
I wasn't. I was thinking. I was like, I don't know if I want to give this a 13, but then I said, you know what? Shut your fucking mouth, Uncle Fucker. You know, and just give it a 13 because this movie is, in my opinion, it's a must see for any South Park fan there is. Honestly, like even if there was somebody who said they'd never seen an episode of South Park in their life, I might start them off on the movie just to give them an idea of what it's going to be like.
yeah.
Because I jumped into South Park. I think I might have mentioned this last time with Scott Sutterman Must Die, and that's a rough
That's
one to get
dark,
in.
man. That's pick
It's
number
a
one.
it's a
That's dark, dude. I mean,
yeah,
if you can
and
grasp the idea what's going on, it's super dark.
yes. And but like I said, it really just kind of depends on what place you're in too, because if that's like whoa, that honestly it made me kind of step back from it for a minute and just kind of like wow, that's a lot crazier than I thought South Park was going to be, Oh, Rick and Morty, man, that's another one that whenever I first saw the trailer for, I think I was pretty high, and they like had this deal where it was like, oh, I don't know if we're real, Morty. I can't see the back, and like they had the back of
That's
their
right.
heads just like cut out, and I was just like, whoa, that's going to be a little much for me, but dude, I love that. I love that show now. Like I bet you they could do a feature film and
They
make
do.
a ton of money.
They're all their stuff is nostalgia feature film. Like they could just bring. They do that.
Well, and the storytelling is so good and so
It
intertwined
is.
throughout the
Oh yeah.
season and everything like
I
that.
mean, just the scary Terry. That shit's. Hey, bitch. Oh,
Yeah.
bitch. Come on,
Well,
bitch. It's like he said you can run, but you can't hide. But what if you do hide? It's like, like and he's like,
oh,
oh,
bitch.
bitch. Like I think Rick and Morty. I think for the most part they're if you take their episodes and you just the ones that they work together and you pull out the commercials and the intros and the outros, it could be like a long movie. Um, I see you're 13, man. I honestly see.
Yeah.
I honestly when we talk about stuff, and I think you are. You're definitely a kid from South Park. You're one of the South Park. You're one of the South Park originals. I will say that if we were in high school at the same time, this I would have loved it because then we would have had somebody else to talk about stuff like this. Um, I just I think with South Park, the movie and everything, and the way I was raised, I do love South Park. I have nothing wrong to say about it. I think I give it an 11, but I think after just watching you just talk about it, it's like a 12 because it's. I know we're supposed to rate the movie. The movie itself, I think is like at least a 10 or 11. But the fact that you have Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the way they do the things, why they do it, the timing, that shit just gives more flavor to that movie because it's giving it more like you're look what they're doing to you and you're still able to break through. Like they're trying to block you. I just want I give it a 12. I'll give it a 12. I wrote an 11. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see where
I can't.
Let me see. Where is it at? It's supposed to be like right here. How do you do this? The 11
It's
is
fine.
right here.
I trust you.
I wrote an 11. Yeah, you can see it right there. So I wrote an 11 somewhere there. You can't tell, but now it's a 12 because I think it's just a great movie. I think from beginning, it's a musical. And it's a fun-loving musical, and it's hard to make a musical, and the way he does it.
That's another reason why it's 13. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like musicals a lot. Like, no joke, I own Moulin Rouge on Blu-ray.
I don't blame you, dude.
It's like I enjoy shit like that. I remember back in theater arts in middle school, man. I had a teacher. She had so it's a movie called Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, and it's a musical. And it was a good movie. It was.
What about Fiddler on the Roof?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Not all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces, but nothing all the way through. Yeah, man. I think that's another reason why I give it a 13 too. It's just because I like the music, and I that's just something I really enjoy, and they kind of hit it on the nail there too. I mean, from the start, this little mountain town. And
dude. Yeah. Well, I told Mona a couple of episodes ago that the Moulin Rouge was the first movie the musical that I saw where I was like, did I just watch something different? What was that? And I mean, Ewan McGregor was the reason I saw it. Then Nicole Kidman. I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch this. And I watched it at my house. I think it was on Showtime, and I was just watching it, and I was like, I went and bought the movie. Because I didn't get to finish watching the ending, so I had to go buy the movie because I couldn't. There's no TiVo, there's no return, there's no pause with Netflix, so I had to go to Walmart, buy Moulin Rouge, and come back and finish the movie, finish the ending. So I didn't get to finish it. But I'm an all over guy. I like entertainment. I like being entertained. So I'm in film, animation. I do music. I don't do it by listening to music. And all that being said, I didn't realize I like musicals too. I'm not as well versed as I would say you, but I would say like a lot of the stuff I like, it's kind of interesting and unique.
I mean, I've even gone and seen the Book of Mormon, so I do like that. Another funny thing about the Moulin Rouge, so whenever I was younger, man. My this is going to sound strange, but my brother's niece, so his wife's
daughter, or
wife's
sister's daughter, or brother's daughter.
Yeah, exactly. So my sister-in-law's niece, we'll just say that. We'll go that route. Maybe kind of had a crush on her whenever I was growing up, and I'd see her during the summers and stuff like that. And she really liked Moulin Rouge too. And so, yeah.
You're memorizing it?
Yeah, well, I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I remember I, wanted to see it. Plus, dude, that Lady Marmalade song, I just thought was the coolest fucking thing in the world back then, too.
My brother and I used to joke around, what's her name? Little Kim's little...
Yeah. And dude, they even have Lil' Kim in South Park. In one episode, it's like, hey, real Lil' Kim.
I mean, when they make fun of Snooki, dude, that's pretty spot on. She's changed. She's a mother now, and she's grown up a little bit. But They did that. That was crazy. Snooky, the Snooky monster is just like, smush, like,
Oh, Snooky
yeah,
wants smush smush.
smush. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I mean, you're definitely a South Park. I think I at one point was like that, and then I went other places and I came back. I always come back to South Park. Like I said, I think Futurama would be my number one. But South Park's always like above all that stuff because it's just with South. If you were to tell me that you're gonna watch the new episode of Futurama, new episode of South Park, the only reason I would pick the Futurama one number one is because it's me. But if there's something going around in the reality that they are making fun of, I'd rather watch South Park because it's in real time. I want to see what are you laughing at that I'm laughing at that I want to see. So that's a big deal.
Yeah. Just a quick question: have you watched Disenchantment at all?
Disenchantment, the one with the Matt going on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the first season.
Same. I haven't gotten around to the second season.
Feels
It
like
was yeah, it does. Like it has that feel of like you're not getting the whole story kind of thing, and I like that. I haven't watched the second season just because like I don't know, dude. I don't want to say I was underwhelmed, but it just was like I wasn't itching to get the next season. I think it's because it was just a binge show. Like it's one of those shows that you binge.
Yeah, I binged it too.
You know, and then you just kind of forget what happens, and you're like, oh, I got to go back and watch the first season again, like to remember what's going on. And that shouldn't like. It almost felt like a chore. Whereas, dude, like the Mandalorian's going on right now, right? And so I didn't have to go back and watch season one. I have an idea. Like I feel like you retain stuff more, better. Yeah, you retain stuff better when you watch it on a weekly basis. As crazy as that sounds. Like if you don't binge it all in one day or all in
at
3 days or something like that,
days,
you know, you have time to mull it over and you have time to have that conversation with other people. Like, oh, what'd you think about this? You know, whereas whenever you binge something, like you don't know whether people are watching it. You don't know whether like it might have just been you. And then you have nobody to talk to. Whereas like with the Mandalorian, man, like every week I'm like, oh, did you see this part? Oh yeah, dude, like it was really cool. Have you watched that at all?
No, I haven't got the Mandalorian at all.
What about season one? Have you watched season one?
Nah. You're sorry. I just like sorry. like
put your fingers back together and watch the fucking episodes.
Sorry, man. Like
put your fingers together. Put your hands back together.
I love Star Wars. I even love the way I got introduced to Star Wars. I would say that I'll share that story real quick. But I was also raised a Trekkie, so I'm both. I was raised Star Trek and I mean Next Generation and Star Wars. But the way I wasn't raised I was raised Star Trek, but I was introduced to Star Wars the same way I was introduced to Rocky Balboa, and I will share those stories real quick. My Uncle Louis, R.I.P., passed away about 10 years ago. One of my not my favorite uncle of all time, but I have a lot of uncles that I love. But he was really cool. He showed me a bunch of things. And one time I was at his house and something. Oh, Rocky. Okay. Rocky? Okay. You know what I'm talking about, Rocky? No. What do you mean you never seen Rocky? No, I've never seen it. Sit down. What? Sit on the couch. You're gonna watch Rocky. Oh, you know what? I know. I saw. Sorry, I did it. Everyone's about to really hate me. I remember what I did. Same thing I did. I saw Rocky 5 first. Tommy Gunn, and I loved it. And they go, what? That's not the best one. I go, what? There's more? My uncle goes, sit down. I had to watch Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4. After I already saw 5, so I had to and then I was like, oh, these movies are so cool. I didn't know they had, when you Clubber Lane right away, you're just scared, dude, me, you get scared. I mean, Hulk Hogan has a beautiful appearance as a massive wrestler. And Hulk Hogan's like 20 years old or something. He's real young in that cameo. It's like 19 or something. Mick, I mean, Rocky just really, really, Adrian, and even it's kind of sad because Sage Stallone, I believe, is the son in the 5th one, and it's his real son, and son passed away when he was in his 30s, but that's not something else. But as I got into that, so that was probably I don't even know. Whenever Rocky 5 came out, was it 92 or something? Or 1990, Rocky 5? I don't know exactly when it came out. Whenever that came out, like a year later, I did that binge. But I in 1990, let's see, here's Rocky 5. 1990, that's when that one came out.
Yeah.
All right, so 1990. So this was probably 1992 when I binge watched all the VHSs. So then let's fast forward till 1996, and we're hanging out at my boy Ronnie Calderon's house, and we all went to stay at night Friday night. And Saturday, Saturday morning, we woke up and we're just like, well, what do we do? What are we gonna do? I don't know. We got nothing to do. And his dad goes, "Where y'all go?" We're going out the front door, and his dad goes, "Where y'all going?" Like, oh. He goes, all right, well, I'm gonna do a Star Wars marathon. So y'all don't be coming in outside in and out of the house. And everyone's like, okay. And I just go, what's a Star Wars marathon? He goes, what? What's a Star Wars marathon? I go, what's a Star Wars marathon? He goes, this is Billy Calderon. Thank you, sir. He goes, you've been staying at my house and you don't even know what Star Wars. Everybody shut the door. Everybody inside. There's like 5 of us. Everybody inside now. He's like, you're watching Star Wars. It was like, what? And I had kind of seen The Last Jedi, the Return of the Jedi. I kind of seen it, a little bit about it, like very, very little. But once I sit down and I like smoked through all of them, and I was the only one that was like, oh, all the other guys were like, damn it, what are we gonna be here? And I just smoked through all, and I was like, this shit's cool as fuck, man. Like, what is this world? Like, there's no tires. Like, what the hell? like where the like there's nothing that's on the ground but feet. And it's like, what are these like it really it wasn't see, I don't know when people get introduced to Star Wars. It's from the 70s, so it's clearly anybody younger than me, or even like years older than me, it's different. So I don't know what the age for Star Wars or Rocky is, but I was young when I got introduced to them. I think maybe I see a lot of parents my age with Star Wars, and they like show their kids and everything at the Comic Cons. It's like Star. So I'm like, it's a seller. It's for Disney and whatnot, but I wasn't really like I didn't fall in love with it. Like I fell in love with X-Men, like the animated series, or I fell in love with Batman, or Michael Keaton's portrayal of Batman in Tim Burton's movies 1 and 2. Like I didn't have that. Like I did this, but Star Wars. Once I saw that, I was like, oh shit, this is different. Because I only have to wait 5 years later for, was it Clone Wars, or was it like,
The Phantom Menace?
Phantom Menace. Sorry, Phantom Menace. So I even saw those in the theater, and I even saw the remastered ones. And then once I saw the remastered ones, I had to call my Uncle Tom and be like, wait a minute, I think I might have seen them out of order. I go, it's New Hope, right? And he goes, yes. And then I go, and it's the Return of the Jedi. Oh no, it's a Return of the Jedi, right? Empire Strikes Back, and then it's Return of the Jedi. But I mean, Empire Strikes Back is like, it's the Godfather 2 of everything, right?
Yeah.
So I say when I saw him, I wanted to make sure that when I saw the remastered one, because your brain's still young, and I was getting into them. How old were you when you got into Star Wars? Oh, sure.
So I had to have been, let's see here. My first memory of Star Wars was, it would have had to have been like a VHS tape. My mom, so this is kind of a strange story. She had dated this guy named Britt. And I think they ended up breaking up. Just didn't work out. But Britt he was kind of like a father figure from like 5 until 9. And I just remember like having a big red float and watching Star Wars whenever I was like, I had to have been like 6. And I probably, because let's see, I remember the green lightsaber the most. So I probably saw like Return of the Jedi a lot. Or it probably wasn't like just the original Star Wars at first. But that's like my first memory of it. Whenever the Phantom Menace came out, I remember I was super pumped. I want to say I saw that in theaters. I can't remember 100%. And then Attack of the Clones. Let's see, because Phantom Menace was 99. Attack of the Clones, I think, was 2002. And then Revenge of the Sith was 2005. So 2005, I was a freshman in high school. And my love for Star Wars was like full-fledged. Like whenever Attack of the Clones came out, like I was in it, man. Like boom, all the way. And like I still have newspaper clippings of like them having Revenge of the Sith come out, and my mom and dad took me to go see it like opening day, right, because it was like my last day of freshman year that I went and saw that. And dude, I was just so excited, and I was like, "This is the last Star Wars that's ever going to be made. Like, this is a historic event." All this other stuff. I was just like, "Wow, this is. I can't believe I'm getting to live through this." Right. And then 2011, I buy all the Star Wars saga, the complete saga, mind you, on Blu-ray, and I'm just like, man, it just doesn't get any better than this. And then a short, like 2 years later, I think it was 2012 that Disney bought Lucasfilms, and then I heard that there was going to be Episode 7, and I was really happy and really pissed off at the same time because I was like, well, there just goes my complete fucking saga, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, man, I thought it was over. Like, I thought I witnessed the last Star Wars movie that was ever going to be made. I really did. Like, honest to God, like that was the thought for the longest time. I was like, I witnessed history. Like, that's my first like really kind of cool movie moment in my life. Like, I just felt like I was living in that time. And like I said, I'm pretty sure I still have those newspaper clippings somewhere. It's like, oh, Revenge of the Sith comes out this weekend. Da 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 da. And yeah, dude, I remember I was like excited to hear that announcement, but like I said, really kind of irritated. I still haven't bought any of the new Star Wars movies. I can't do it to myself because, like I said, I really like my collections to be I like them to be whole. Like, I know they have this as the like Skywalker saga now, and I can get on board with that, but I don't like. I think I might have mentioned this to you before, but like one year I got Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, and it was like the extended director's cut, final cut, all this other stuff. Like, it was this.
Or was it a box?
Yeah, it looked like exactly. It was like four of them.
Yeah.
For these motherfuckers, and I was like, it just kind of came alone. It was like I got a bunch of other random ass movies like I'd never even heard of, like they were picked out of the dollar bin at Walmart kind of thing, and I was just like, oh cool, like the Two Towers, awesome. I was like, well, this kind of sucks for them because for my parents, because like I want the other two, but I want them exactly like this because I like having my collection like looking the same. I would it just would have irked my ass if I had like Fellowship of the Ring like one disc and then you don't have all this other stuff that comes with it. And it turns out, dude, like a couple of years back, Amazon had this deal where you could buy the entire trilogy for like, and it's the same format I had before, but just in Blu-ray form, and it was like $22 for all three movies. And so I bought that, and I was like, "Oh, that's a hell of a deal," So I got the same thing, same fucking movies. I remember trying to watch the Two Towers, like watch the entire thing, and I would always fall asleep every time. I couldn't even finish the goddamn thing, but I was like, "Oh no, I need to have all these movies look the exact same."
Yeah, I got you.
It's just goofy shit like that. But yeah, that's roundabout. That's my first interaction with Star Wars.
But that was actually that what you just said. I was like, man, we used to talk about the paper clippings and all that and saving stuff, like even having your collection. That's how I used to be when I felt like I was listening to my inner me when I was a kid. I used to like collecting things. I mean, like I my past was a little bit rough, so a lot of the stuff I had I couldn't really keep because we moved around a lot. Not in a bad way, not like cart, but we were flipping house. My mom was flipping houses, so it's just kind of like, oh, this house is broken. 1 month later, oh, it's fixed. 2 months later, we have to move out. Okay, it's like so it's kind of a thing. But I will say that. Side note: this weekend when I went to the Goodwill to buy some acting clothes for my scene, I did have the Twin Tower thing you were just talking about just there. I was like, why is this even in here? This is like valuable. Why don't I just buy this? I was like, oh, I gotta go. They had that Lord of the Rings. It's funny you brought it back. You brought it up. I will say my first rendition of anything Star Wars was actually probably like in 1989, 1990 with a movie called Spaceballs. That was my first introduction with Star Wars. And I'm about to just throw something out there for the next week's episode. Spaceballs, Mel Brooks.
Dude, Oh fuck yeah, Mel Brooks.
And I was gonna say
All right,
we could do this. Do since we got here through this, I say, okay, you got it.
dude.
You're on my
If
page. You're on my wavelength. All right. Since we said Star Wars and got us to Spaceballs, I think we should leave Spaceballs. We're on Mel Brooks. Which next Mel Brooks do you want to do? I was gonna suggest Robin Hood Men in Tights, but we can do any of the Wheelhouse. I'll let you pick. I'll take I'll take the Star Wars. That's my pick. Now you get to pick any Mel Brooks you want. And I mean, dude, Mel Brooks
oh
is like
you are that
you.
damn dude. That's a difficult one. Um,
I think I screwed people were listening. I think I screwed him over more than because Spaceballs is easy. But if we have to pick, okay, we don't have to pick Spaceballs. But I just saw your passion for.
no. Spaceballs.
Okay.
No, we're doing that one for sure.
Okay.
Because I feel like that is one of Mel Brooks' most iconic movies. Dude, like my first thought was what I really want to do is History of the World Part 1. I love that fucking movie. Blazing Saddles is another one that comes to mind. But
I haven't seen History of the World Part 1 in a long time.
Dude, and even another one, man.
Long time.
Shit, The Producers. I mean,
Yes.
I mean, I like the newer one, but I don't think he directed the new one with Matthew Broderick and everything. I think he was just.
Well, just for filming
Let's
wise.
see here.
I mean, just for watching.
Yeah, no, he wasn't the director, so I don't want to use that one, unfortunately.
Well, for viewing wise, the History of the World Part 1 is on Amazon, available on Amazon right now. I own
Like Prime?
Spaceballs. Yeah, I own 2 versions of Spaceballs, so I'm good with Spaceballs.
I own History of the World Part 1 on Blu-ray.
So
Oddly enough, yeah. But yeah,
and
like
it's on Stars. Spaceballs is on Stars right now too.
and those are two, like, I mean, honestly, Robin Hood Men in Tights would be a good comparison because it's closer to that one.
Dude, hold the line. I gotta pee, man. I've been holding it for like 30 minutes. I can't hold it longer. Hold the line. We're gonna finish up right now. Sorry, we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, that was. Sorry there. I had 2 glasses of water before we started, and then I had 2 glasses of wine, and I had a sparkling water. So I was like holding it. I was like, "I will finish." For 30 minutes, I was like, "Okay, now I gotta go." And then I have like an obstacle course here. I have all these lights set up with these wires and trip wires. I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it." I'm back. So I don't know if you're holding the line, but like I was saying,
Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. I wasn't even talking.
that's
I was
cool.
just.
I'll zip it. I'll edit that. Okay, we're back, and I'll say that, like I said, I was introduced to Star Wars through Spaceballs. So we got Spaceballs here, and the second one we're gonna pick is the. I mean, you're right, man, dude. You're right,
All
dude.
right, it's okay. I was looking it up. That's why I was quiet this whole time. I was looking up on IMDb and I was just like going through his stuff. And you know what's so damn funny is whenever it pulls up, whenever I don't know whether you know how a lot of things pick up on what you're talking about,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So on filmography for Mel Brooks on IMDb, it first is Spaceballs, and you're never gonna guess what the second one is.
Already gonna say. Oh no, wait. On his
History. It on
on,
his IMDb.
on his acting.
Uh, it doesn't. No, I'm just saying known for. You know how they have like the
Oh
first four
yes,
that
yes,
they're
yes,
known
yes. Sorry,
for.
right here, the top part. Yes, it's yeah. No, I was
Okay.
the top four alone. I was just saying that you just brought up all top four.
I mean, yeah.
The
So
producers, Blazing Saddle, History of the World, Part One.
and so it goes Spaceballs and History of the World Part One are the two. So I think that answers our question
One
right
and
there.
two. Yeah.
And
All
that's
right. So
funny that you pick that, and then I say History of the World Part One is what I want to do, and that like I said, that just almost confirms it.
if and I totally skipped that part too. Like I didn't. I clicked Mel Brooks and I went down to his filmography. I totally skipped what he's known for, and it's right there, right in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, did the producers? Did he? Well, sorry, you said he didn't. He didn't edit. No, he didn't direct it.
He had one that he did
It's
direct, if
like
I'm
the
not
'70s, right?
mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not too
it
big.
had Gene Wilder and somebody else.
It's
Let's
a dude
see.
from the Honeymooners, no?
I don't know if it's Jackie Gleason.
I think
Let's see.
it was
It was somebody else, I think.
Zero Mostel,
Let's
Max
see.
Bilestock.
Max Bielstock. Yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah, never mind. So yeah, I love the
Let's
producers.
see here.
This is
Yeah. The producers was his first movie actually.
yeah, this is
To direct.
it's a good one, man. I remember. I mean, this 1967 version is really really good. Gene Wilder just God, man, he steals it, man.
Mhm.
I mean, but also this his co-star does do a good job too. All right, so we have Mel Brooks, dude. I'm happy we got to Mel Brooks. This is kind of. I mean, dude. He did you ever see this movie Love Stinks? I mean, Life
Life
Stinks. Life
Stinks?
Stinks.
No, I just saw that and I was like, I've never even heard of that.
That is such.
Honestly.
That's a good movie, man. Is that a? Let's see. Is that a director? I know
It's on HBO right now. I'm gonna have to watch it.
dude. Yeah, Life Stinks. Yeah, dude. Like
He's the director of it too.
director. Yeah,
Written
dude.
by. Yeah.
If you like doing what CJ likes doing and watching, because we're watching for everyone listening. This is a Wednesday night, and we kind of got sidetracked a little bit, and we're gonna watch these two movies by Sunday. So this is a short week again. Trying to stay on a Sunday nights, just to kind of keep it consistent. But yeah,
And it helps us with our not getting too crammed in together.
yeah. So it gives us some space, and also we could like also do our life like we do. But like if you want to watch a third movie and you want to watch this one, man, it's on HBO. Those things like Jeffrey Tambor's in it. Yeah, Tambor. Who else is it? Stuart Pankin. Yeah, this is a goofy one, man. You gotta
Dude.
watch it, dude. You get a chance.
Yeah, and then I think Robin Hood Men in Tights was my first introduction to Mel Brooks.
It'd be so easy. It'd be so easy for us to pick that. I mean, Young Frankenstein. I mean, God.
Yeah,
It'd be so easy. We could just do side by sides on all of Mel Brooks, like directed and acted or whatever produced. Like they're amazing.
yeah.
I mean, how old is he? 19. Oh, he's already in his
Dude.
90s.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean Connery, RP, was 90, and he's what's 1926. So what is that? Like 94?
Dude, he's
No.
yeah.
Yeah, 94.
Let's see.
Yeah, would that be that right? In 2000. Yeah, because 6 more years he'll be 100.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow, dude. He's seen a lot of shit.
he's seen some shit.
Yeah.
And he was able to just. I mean, maybe. I mean, I think some people, and I feel like I can relate to this. Like, the darker your life is, the more funnier you can laugh at shit. He has a lot of stuff you can laugh at.
Wow, man.
Oh
I'm
man,
just looking at the picture that they have of him. Yeah, what were you gonna say, Rick Moranis?
oh, just from freaking. Oh, thank you for covering me on that one. I think just for just him and Spaceballs alone, man. Just like,
Dude, yeah.
yeah, the
Dude, did
picture.
you hear that? Did you hear that Rick Moranis got knocked the fuck out the other
I
day?
saw the video, man. Yeah, it was like a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Some that dude just like I don't even want to get to that, but it's just like he just hit him just because he saw some. We know what it is. We know what the story's about. But he just hit, but then he realized it was Rick Moranis. He dude just came out of
Yeah,
retirement. You're giving him a reason to go back into retirement, like,
exactly.
dude.
Dude,
And I,
do you watch SNL at all? Or like
uh,
Bill
I
Burr, he was on it not too long ago, and he had his monologue. He was
oh
talking about Yeah, he was talking about New York and how he felt like it was getting real wimpy and stuff like that. He's like, but we got Rick Moranis, man. Like, somebody knocked him out, put him on his ass, we're back, you know.
I didn't watch the whole monologue, but I did see some of it. That's funny. No, but even in 2017 or 2018, the San Antonio Comic Con, what's it called, Alamo City, one of the big ones. He was there. He came out, and I had a chance to take a photo with him, but I missed it, so I can get like 3 other people. But I was like, damn, I didn't realize Mick Moranis would have been like very rare, very very rare photo to have. But yeah. Well, I guess we're done with this. So you and I can talk all night, and I think for where we're at now,
it's
I think
it's it's relatively early. I mean, comparatively to our other.
our other episodes, yeah, and we did this one a
Yeah,
little
I
bit
think.
earlier.
Yeah, I mean, what time did we even start? Like 10? It was right around.
This one is no, we started at 11. Um,
Okay.
so we're hitting around 2 hours and 40 minutes right now, total time talking, but about 20 minutes of that is us talking just in the beginning. So we're looking at about 220. I'm thinking of just
This
editing.
is this is like a shorter episode, honestly.
Yeah, it feels shorter. Yeah. I mean, I feel like honestly, we did this a little different. We didn't really break down the movies so much, opposed to just the franchise series. The movies themselves are, I think, these are movies that kind of set you up for the series. If you've never seen the series of Simpsons or South Park, these will help you kind of understand where you're coming from, what kind of humor you're gonna get. But outside of that, they're just they're not bad. They're meant for us, but these like Mel Brooks, these movies are old, way older than us, and
Yeah.
we're gonna. I mean, one was 87, but still, I was a baby. I think the fact that we can still relate to them, we're still there.
Hmm.
I think I showed my brother Blazing Saddles, my 18-year-old brother, when he was like 13. I showed him a few scenes, and he was laughing his ass off. So I was happy that that's still
That
going on.
was dude. Yeah. So you did to your brother what my brother did to me. There's one night that he was like, I wouldn't even call it babysitting, but like he was at the house and I was there too. And my parents were gone, and we ordered. I'm pretty sure it was Papa John's, but we didn't have it delivered to. We lived too fucking far away, so we must have we picked it up some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But he showed me Blazing Saddles and Back to the Future Part Two, because they were on like Showtime or Stars or whatever the hell we had. And I remember just being like, whoa, like these are great movies. They weren't good like together.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
wouldn't be a good side by side or anything. But yeah, dude, like that was. I thought that was funny how like Back to the Future, I was brought in on the second one, and it's like, oh, there's still other ones.
Well, if you
Like,
would have done Back to the Future 3 and Blazing Saddles, a little bit, a little bit of similarities.
yeah, too bad Showtime wasn't capitalizing on that.
When my brother was 13, I remember that was the first time I was like, "Hey, look, Back to the Future. Do you want to watch it?" And he goes, "What's Back to the Future?" I go, "What?" So I don't binge 1, 2, and 3. And you're right. I got introduced to part 2 before I got introduced to 1. I got confused too. I thought 1 and 2 were the same movie, just really long. But apparently number 1 is the first one they made, and number 2 is just this like number 1 with a budget. That's all. It's like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. Like it's the same movie, just with a budget. Um, I did the binging with him, and we saw 1, 2, and 3, and I'm gonna ask him which was your favorite one, and I already knew what he was gonna say, but I wanted to hear it from him so I can confirm my theory of what
You
was
like
gonna
the third one?
like third one. Just how I like Rocky 5. It's the younger generations like the latest one.
Hmm.
I mean, I was, yeah, a lot of the, I mean, yeah, he liked the third one. I go, yeah, my favorite one's the second one. And I go, but when you go to Rocky, I like the old man Rocky, which I thought was Balboa. He keeps coming out, he's coming back.
Okay, here's the real question, man. The Godfather. I recently, not recently, probably like 3 years ago, I watched all three of them. They were on Netflix. I was like, I've never seen them before. I want to see what this is all about. What do you think?
I fucked up with that one. I was introduced 3, 2, 1, and man, I get what they mean about 2, but I like number 1. And I think
Yeah.
it's my main thing for liking number 1 is Sonny, James Caan character. It's just he grabs my attention, man. And it's James Caan. Like I see him as such an older gentleman, and then you see him as a younger study guy, and you're like, whoa! Like when you watch what's his name, Robert Duvall in those movies, you're like, whoa, Robert Duvall, so young.
Yeah.
Al Pacino kind of just got Al Pacino, but because they even make him on the old one really, they make in the third one they make him look old. But for Godfathers, like I said, I was introduced to it 3, 2, 1. I was probably like early '90s when I saw him. I haven't really kept up with them. I'm not big on them. I know the scenes, but I know that the first one I liked a lot. I like the first one a lot more than the other two. How about you?
I like the second one, man. The second one was just I don't know whether it's just me and I enjoy like the time jump kind of story, but I feel like that's what always kind of draws me in. What really can kind of catch my attention. It almost kind of makes you pay attention a little bit more, or makes you have to pay attention because you're like, why are we here now? The reason I'm asking that too is we kind of mentioned it earlier. You said like The Godfather Part 2 of this franchise or something like that. And then yesterday I was looking through Facebook and they had something where they're remastering the third one. And it was like new scenes and shit like that that they just cut. And it's called The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone. And so...
Sorry, I'm losing you, man. You froze up a bit, and then I don't hear you anymore. Can you hear me? Are you there? You froze. I'm carrying the team here. Let's see if he comes back. If not, I'll just end it and from there, and then we'll figure out what's going on. His computer froze. He has this funny, goofy face. I'm gonna... He's not gonna like it, but I'm sorry, everybody. Thank you for listening. It is getting kind of late, and for this episode, and he's gone. Actually, I am by myself. All right. Well, I'm gonna just say goodbye. Thank you for listening to Side by Side with Ben Garrett and CJ Robles. Ben is not here right now because I guess he lost this connection, but it's the end of the episode, so it's okay. Today you saw us break down, which we tried to, which was a little difficult. Was the South Park movie and the Simpsons movie, which we basically just compared two franchises, what they meant to us. We also moved on from here. We're segueing into Mel Brooks. So Mel Brooks is going to be our next side by side. We're going to watch Spaceballs and I want to make sure I say this right because I don't want to mess it up. History of the World Part 1, full title. So we're gonna watch those next time. So tune in. Actually, this Sunday. So in a couple days, we're gonna have these movies done. So without anything else to hold you up on, my name is CJ Robles, and that was Ben Garrett. And thank you for listening to Side by Side. I'll see you later.